to the Rice Report, everybody. We are joining you here today on September 11th, 2025 with my friend Matt Baker. Today is a tragic day in U.S. history for many reasons. Yesterday, we lost truly a champion of free speech and a warrior for Christ yesterday in Charlie Kirk. And today we're memorializing the death of almost 3,000 innocent Americans in New York City on that infamous day that will live in our hearts forever, especially those of us who are here to see it and witness it. So Matt, thank you so much for joining us here today. Matt is you can call him an investigative journalist, whatever you want to call him. He's a truth seeker, a freedom fighter, somebody who's out there day by day, literally every day, no matter how big or how small the story is, trying to cover it and get to the truth without any obfuscation of the truth. And more importantly, without any biased on the truth, which I think is greatly missing in this country. So thank you for joining us here today, Matt.
Thanks. It's a somber day, man. I just pretty much gutted yesterday. I was out doing a report, and it was just about the traffic and what they're doing in our city, blowing our money. And then I heard about the news, and we just stopped. I just couldn't do it anymore. You know, it's just like, I mean, there's just big things going on. It's like changed the landscape really in a way that I don't think we're really going to understand until some time has passed. A lot of people feeling very sad and very somber, but you know, Charlie, he died doing what he loved, and nobody was ever able to silence him. As long as he lived, he kept speaking his truth and our truth, and he was a voice for generations, and he will not be forgotten.
He will not be forgotten. And like I've said many times on social media in the last 24 hours, I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said, and that's the entire point. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't agree with a lot of his, not a lot, I agree with 98% of what Charlie Kirk says, to be quite frank, but the 2% right. I disagreed with, I look past, because he will leave a legacy behind that is so sorely needed in America, where we can have difficult conversations in a public forum without losing our cool and just trying to talk about things. Yeah, I mean, this is what we've lost. You know, we live in a very bifurcated, divided world that's emotionally charged, and people lose their cool when someone disagrees with them. That's the premise of America. Like, it literally is the premise.
Did you see that guy in the almost the front row, like standing up and cheering?
Unbelievable.
I mean, you know, I have to be real. Like, sometimes, you know, you think about people like Fauci or Bill Gates, and sometimes you don't have the best thoughts for them, and you wonder whether you would cry, you know, if something unfortunate were to happen to them. But you know, these are people who possibly, you know, killed millions and millions of people and committed crimes against humanity, as opposed to a man just out there speaking. And, you know, it just shows you the power that he had, that they felt the need to silence him. I recently covered him when he came to San Diego, and I was very surprised at how many pro-Charlie and pro-Trump people there were here in San Diego. We're always told that San Diego's this giant liberal town and it's lost. And, you know, it wasn't very long ago that we used to have right-wing people. It's a big military town. You know, Reagan was right-wing. California itself used to be very right-wing. And, you know, the commies have taken over by hook or by crook. I think a lot more crook than hook. And I think they've been stealing elections here for a very long time. And I think once they get their fingers in the pies, it's very hard to unwind what they're doing with the corruption and the you know, whether it's gerrymandering or whether it's just not counting your votes but counting their votes, or mail-in ballots, or fake citizens, and giving, you know, illegals the right to vote. I mean, every single thing they do is just totally crooked. And they care about only one thing, is power. Yep. People are supposed to be the friendly, nice guys. And you see them just like celebrating to just the highest level. And I knew it yesterday. I told my friend Luke Slywaker, who I was out there, he does a lot of camera work for me, and he does his own reporting. And I was like, you know, they're going to start celebrating. He's like, you don't think so? I'm like, bro.
Of course they are.
Just wait, it's coming, and it's just going to be nonstop, you know. And I want people to realize that, you know, problem, reaction, solution, whether these things are done on purpose by the powers that be, the men in black suits, or done by psychotic trans people, regardless of that, you know, the system will always use it to ratchet up. And I really like Clay Higgins. I like him a lot. But I heard this morning he was calling for all big tech to silence and remove all accounts permanently for anybody who who hates on Charlie Kirk. And as bad as that is, I mean, do you think Charlie Kirk would want
Nope.
speech to be impacted because of him? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I honestly think he would be literally turning in his grave if he thought that there was going to be speech laws passed about people, no matter how tasteless or disgusting or insane the rantings of the madman are. And I also think about a lot of people have responded, let them laze themselves. Like if you silence them, then you can't know what they're saying, and
That's right.
let them speak, and you can keep tabs on them and say, oh, look at this guy. He could be ready to snap next. I think it's very, very strange. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole shooting? And do you believe that it's just some random leftist, or what do
No.
you think?
No, I mean, so first of all, yesterday I was in a meeting when someone told me it. I tried to cut the meeting short and drive home, blew a flat tire.
Oh, God.
So while I was sitting on the side of the road, I had a chance to take in some calls. And actually, Cynthia, my friend who helps me with this podcast, her daughter was at the hospital they brought him to. And it just became very real to me when that happened. Do I think this was done by some random leftist, transgender, psychopathic college student? Absolutely not. And here's the reason why. I'm a fairly active on firing ranges. I love to shoot guns. I try to get better every time I go out there. I hear all the time, it's only a 200-yard shot. I could hit that. Yes, I agree. I could probably hit that shot too. I've never tried. I've also never been in a crowd of thousands of people with millions of variables with one shot that was absolutely centered for a kill shot, and then vanish into thin air and no one find me. That's the real part of this that lets me know that this is a professional job as opposed to just a random person who can shoot a gun. Very big difference. They would have been an amateur would have been caught within an hour. We still don't know who shot Charlie Kirk.
Or would have, at least, I mean, it's hard for me to believe. I guess if they had a scope, maybe they could have seen the blood coming out of his neck and they would have said, okay, it's a done deal. But you would think maybe a second shot to make sure. I mean, and then just to be like, clip, one shot, out, gone, vanish into thin air in the middle. And keep in mind, so apparently they found the weapon. Of course, it's there. Everyone tags their guns.
Yeah, everyone's writing in their guns
these
now.
days. Yeah,
it's the newest thing in the serial killer community. Yeah,
it's so convenient for patsy framing. It's like whatever ideology you want to frame. And keep in mind, people on the right wing are generally the people who are the more conspiratorial minded. So I feel like they give us, they're like, well, it was a transgender guy. And so that's almost what we want to hear. They're telling us what you want to hear. Like, yeah, those damn trans people, And so it just is, it seems too professional. It seems that the chances of this guy getting away. I mean, did you hear about this plane transponder?
Yes, I did.
Is off. And, somebody just like, so not only that, they find, I forget, I'm not sure the location exactly, but I think it's Utah, but I think they were saying in the forest or somewhere they found the gun with the writing on it. And it's like, why would you leave the place with the gun? Like, wouldn't you just drop the gun? Like, I mean, I'm going to escape in the middle of a campus with a giant rifle, a bolt action long gun. And you're just going to like walk through the crowd when everybody's freaking out and like high alert. I mean, that seems very strange to me. I can't imagine why you wouldn't just leave it there. Or you're running with it and you're like, well, I almost escaped with it, but let me now leave it here so that they have evidence. It makes no sense.
And what about the guy who randomly out of nowhere said, I did it, please shoot me? All right, there's your patsy. Like this is an intelligence grade operation. Like you don't get away this quickly. And then it kind of reminds me of I forgot the guy's name, the guy who shot the healthcare CEO. How they found him in a McDonald's with every evidence of the murder in a backpack.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the answers to these, neither do you, Matt. And that's the whole purpose of investigating and doing journalism, is to ask questions that don't have answers. And one of the questions we don't have answers is, why would this guy leave a gun? How did he disappear? Why did this plane take off? That's, that has had, let's just be honest, has taken multiple religious trips to Israel. Like, that's another fact to put into this thing. And why are we now saying it's a random college kid, transgender? Actually, the picture that just came out about an hour ago from Kash Patel.
Were you saying the plane had made trips to Israel?
That's what I read. That's what I read.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to go to Israel,
Again, I don't know.
Are you familiar with the post that Harrison Smith made?
100% I am, yes.
I'm not sure exactly when. I was going to call him yesterday. I texted him, and he just said he was hugging his family and everything. And so he's, in a way, has almost become the Alex Jones of this, because he said, I'm not going to name names, but I was told by people who are friends with Charlie Kirk, and trust me, these guys know each other. Everyone's connected in the Patriot movement. We all know people. And when you're like literally InfoWars, I mean, you have connections physically tapped into everybody and all the crews. And so when he comes and goes out of his way to say Charlie Kirk is afraid that Israel's going to kill him, if he doesn't shut, if he doesn't, he already started kind of waffling a little bit. And the thing is he was steadfast pro-Israel. They could do no wrong. And it almost became the only flaw in any of his arguments, because he was perfectly executing. I hate to use the word execute. All of his arguments were perfectly created, and he always won the battles. And then when this one topic would come up, and, you know, for a while he was carrying the water for it, or he didn't see it. Like a lot of people like myself, I was like, oh no, come on, Israel can't be that powerful. This is just some crazy thing. And then as you start noticing more and more, you do start wondering like how deep it really goes. And all I know is, and I posted this yesterday, and they're like, you're a moron, you're a fool. I'm like, look, man, I didn't write it. Harrison didn't make it up. What if someone says to you, I'm afraid my husband's going to kill me, and then you get murdered, who's prime suspect? I mean, why would Charlie Kirk be afraid of Israel, of all people, the people that pay most of his bills, the people that he, you know, is very, you know, friendly to, let's say, to the deficit of ruining his career with a lot of people on the right who say, hey man, you're not real because you won't address this particular situation, and knowing and having the internal struggle with yourself that, hey, I want to be a little bit more honest with this particular topic so that I can maintain my integrity, and then hearing pushback to the point where you tell other people, hey, by the way, I'm fearing for my life right now. Think about this on a level that Charlie Kirk should be afraid of being assassinated, being on college campuses with psychotic leftists all day long. You would think being assassinated by Israel would be so low beneath every single psycho that he stares out into the audience of complete rampant whack jobs all day long. You don't think he's haunted in the night by visions of leftist whack jobs? But no, arising above all of that in the mind of the man who is super pro Israel, is funded heavily by Israel, for him to actually think he wasn't like, hey guys, I think some leftist is going to kill me. It's like, duh, hello, Charlie. I mean, of course. I mean, the guy's got balls of steel being out there in these things. And I mean, when I was on the campus covering his, it was just a few months ago, and I mean, he could have gotten shot right there. I saw people on the rooftops there. I mean, all these campuses have all these buildings and all these stairwells and all these people, and some of the people you could kind of see were just trying to get a view, but there was a few, and I was like, are these guys like our guys snipers, their guys snipers? Who are they? And I mean, I was tripping out about it just being there. But of all these people in the entire world, he would actually worry about that and say it. So for people to say it has no credibility or it's not worth looking into, you're just not being honest with yourself. I mean, that is the number one suspect at this point.
I agree.
Sorry to say.
I agree. And I'll make a statement I make all the time. You know, this is about the secular government of Israel. Like everyone blaming all Christians for things, all Jews for things. It's not all of everyone. It's a select group of evil people that do things. Mm-hmm. Now, the lineage or the chronology of the events are very timely. Mm-hmm. So I think Harrison put that out like around August 14th, something like that, a little over a month ago. Mm-hmm. A month previous to that, Charlie had started questioning Jewish donors, which contribute to a group called HIAS, which is the Hebrew Immigrant Assistance Society.
Mhm.
who is one of the prime deliverers of people from third world nations into the southern border.
Right.
This isn't something that we're
Jewish Family
conspiratorial.
Services. They have their little garrisons all over here. I mean, before the election, before I've been quite critical of Trump, but I will tell you the one thing that he has done is I live here on the border, and I will tell you there ain't nobody coming
Yep.
across that border. When I was down there before, it looked like scenes from Calcutta or something you would see, like from like famines or things in the back of tents and kids and babies and Africans and Chinese people and feces and just thousands of human people, just like to the point where I'm down there covering it going, damn, we need to do something about that. At the same time, I'm like feeling like as a human, I'm like, whoa, bro, this is rough, like feeling for the people.
Sure.
But I went down there just to cover it, just like I don't know, a couple of weeks after Trump got in, and it was so empty that I just dubbed in the sound of crickets. There was literally not a single human being on the other side of that border, not one. Maybe I saw like some guard or something that was just going back and forth, but there was no illegal aliens. And prior to that, San Diego being like a hotbed of this, the Jewish Family Services, Catholic Charities, and they were basically making money off of these non-governmental organizations. It's basically like what they did in Iraq. It's like when they want to like fudge the Geneva Conventions of war or whatever they're doing, they just send in contractors to get the job done, and they're being funded by the government. They're giving their spreadsheets to the government, like, hey, we brought in this amount of people, we had to do this amount of stuff, this amount of things, and so we had to buy this amount of formula and this and that, and they get funded by the government contracts. And so it's literally a self-fulfilling prophecy for them. All they want to do is like, we're just trying to help the people with their nonprofit that makes trillions of dollars. Yeah, man. Israel has some let's not forget the dancing Israelis.
Oh, we're going to get into that in just a moment.
The students and where this all goes. I mean, honestly, I don't want to live in this reality. I don't want to notice these things. I'm not comfortable with it. I go on Stu Peters' show and he's just ranting and raving, Jew, 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 Jew all the time. And I'm like, okay, dude, come on, give me a break. And then as I'm going through, I'm like, is he right? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously it takes it a little far and he might not be the best, spokesperson for this type of opinion, but it's getting weird out here, man. And the government and with what's going on with Epstein and the Epstein files that don't exist. Are we still
That's another thing Charlie did. Charlie started saying that he believed that Epstein was a Mossad agent. That's another thing he said.
Yeah, which is one of the oldest things that we've known forever. I mean, I had Chris Sky on right after this whole thing broke, and Chris Sky was just going off. And honestly, I got into it with him because he's like, I was like, well, what about this? And he's like, well, then you're in on it too. He's like telling me I'm in like compromised,
for asking a question.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, it is strange that Trump would say it doesn't exist after spending years and years pumping up the story and talking about Bill Clinton, he's got problems on that Epstein. And they're like, if you were cheating on your wife at a whorehouse down the road, would it be like driving by it every day? Tony's going to that whorehouse there. There's a whorehouse? I didn't even know there's a whorehouse. Oh yeah, Tony's down there all the time. He sees Ming Ling. It's like, Ming Ling? Who's Ming Ling? Oh yeah, she works at the counter. It's like, stop talking about it. Like, why would you be bringing up something that you're trying to cover up? I mean, you would just move on. Like, just don't make it a central pillar of your campaign. Don't hire Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who've been going on and on and on about releasing the files. And then they get in, there's like, there's no files. There's nothing. He killed himself.
They're all fake.
Yeah.
It's all a hoax.
What's really going on, people? And it's kind of scary, honestly. It's really bummed me out with the entire movement, like putting so much effort into trying to get Trump elected. And, I had problems with him from Operation Warp Speed.
Sure.
But, basically, I bought into the problem reaction solution of Camel Toe Harris. I'm like, there's no way I'm dealing with her. And it was a certain point when I told me and my buddy, we were covering all these political events. I said, we were kind of hating on Trump and hating on Elon. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going full pro Trump, full pro Elon until after the election. Then I'm going to get back into it. Because right now we have to win this battle. And then he gets in and just all this weird stuff happening with Israel and continuing the wars and talking about Trump Gaza. And there is no Epstein files. And it's just very hard to look at this stuff objectively and not start, putting two and two together. And it's an unfortunate reality that we are probably living in.
Yeah, like one you just described, that you're proof in the pudding. You've been there, that the border is shut down, but we just passed a bill for $150 billion in surveillance technology for the border.
Yeah,
we don't need that money. It already shut down. Like we don't need to put more money towards the border. All we need to do is shut it down. Now the surveillance technology comes in. I'm with you. I think that right now, first of all, the role of journalism is to question things. That is it. So asking these questions, I'm not making neither one of us are making assumptions. We're just saying it's very odd that a pro-Israel advocate started questioning the things of Israel, which deserve to be questioned heavily, especially on 9/11, because we're going to get into that in a moment. And then all of a sudden he's shot dead on basically live TV in front of the entire world. And a plane takes off.
The most horrific thing, I mean, I guess JFK, but that wasn't broadcast live.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, I didn't know the human heart could pump that much blood. Yeah. That's a lot of blood came out, man. It was like a garden hose.
Yeah.
That's why when I just didn't know. I mean, I thought that was in the movie. I would think spurting, bloody. I didn't just like, it was just like, and my buddy was like, he posted right after, he's like, RIP, rest in peace, this and that. And then everyone's like, praying for Charlie. We're like, praying for Charlie? I mean, if he survived that, this is going to be like some level of miracle that, I mean, I just don't even know how that would be possible to get him out of a situation like that and anywhere to pump blood back into his body.
Couldn't do it fast enough.
Yeah. I just, I mean,
but then you have all these questions. But the beautiful thing, and I want to focus on Charlie's legacy, is that the beautiful thing that Charlie did is number one, he brought more young people to God than anyone I've ever seen in my lifetime. He brought forth the idea of free speech, even the things he disagreed with, which I try to honor in every moment of my life. There are plenty of it. That's the beauty of America. You can disagree, but you don't have the right to like brute force make people believe what you believe. Have a discussion and sway them logically. And more importantly, he brought family values to be front and center. This is a son, a father, a husband, a friend to many, a role model to many that we just lost on 9/11, the saddest day. And most people today are talking about Charlie. Today is 9/11.
Yeah.
It's been 24 years.
I've never seen a story supersede 9/11 since 9/11. It's always been 9/11 day on 9/11, but today's Charlie's day, so.
And it begs those questions from that time too. And like, I hate to harp on Israel, but somebody has to. And I think these questions, again, this isn't racist or anti-Semitic. I'm talking about a secular nation and their involvement with their intelligence agencies in our nation, which are rampant and known. And, on this day we had, I think it was 20 plus Israeli nationals were arrested on 9/11, held in custody for 30 days, questioned by the FBI, sent back to Israel, and their files were destroyed. We've never heard about that story again. So many, the dancing Israelis, the bands.
Netanyahu wrote a book like saying, "Oh, you're going to have a World Trade Center collapse if you
1996
don't stop the." I mean, at a certain point, guys. I mean, like I said, I don't want to live in this world. I don't like these thoughts. I don't. I mean, the truth is the truth, but it's like I just don't want to live here. I just don't want to be in this shitty movie, and it's not a freaking movie like Q level movie. I mean, it's just this plot sucks. I feel like every day is a psyop,
everything
ever since, 9/11 and all the things that were put in. And, I mean, honestly, I've got some friends, especially on X, that are Muslims, but it's like, I'm no fan of the Muslims either, man. I don't want Palestinians coming here. I mean, I pray for them, and I call out Israel for the genocide that they're putting on them, and it's so blatant in front of the whole world. But at the same time, I'm not pro-Islam. It's like, when are we going to be pro-America? When are we truly going to be America first? And when are we really going to start doing our own bidding? And I told Stu this before. I was like, in a way, I blame the Goyim, because why are we so easily bought off? It's like people have such low moral standards that they're willing to do the bidding of other countries, because whether it's money or blackmail or anything, honestly, if they have some blackmail on Trump, he should just come out and say it. It would be just
kill it.
Be like, look, here's the deal. I was on the island. There were some cute girls. I thought they were of age. They weren't. It's true. Okay. I banged a 15-year-old. Whatever. Okay. People would lose their mind, but at least they would appreciate the fact that we can now not be under this blackmail. And it's like, if we can't be our own country, if we can't make our own decisions, if Charlie Kirk can't speak the words that he's wanting to speak, that he's literally whispering to his friends that he's afraid he's going to be assassinated. Like I say, repeat, not by a leftist, not by a transgender, not by a psycho, not by a Mexican, not by, not by someone from Palestine, by Israel, is what he said, and told his friends that that's what he was afraid of. So I'm afraid he might be right.
Yeah, I agree. And on a day like this, we have a nation that's generally in mourning. It's double mourning today. But the beautiful thing is that there are a lot of people who are like, I say this all the time, and it's so weird to people. It's probably my favorite day. My wife's birthday is September 12th. On her birthday in 2001 was one of the most beautiful days that I ever remembered, because Americans felt unified. Yeah. Right. We felt this. You could walk down the street and look at anyone, and you knew they had the same thing on their mind. And they were just like, are you okay? Are we okay? How do we help each other? And I pray that America gets back to that feature, that sense, that feeling as to what's happening. So through tragedy, there always comes these beautiful moments in humanity. And I don't think we're seeing them today. I think we'll see them in the next few days, because
I'm already feeling it. I definitely am feeling it, because I know there's a lot of people, like you said, we've had our, differences with Charlie, but, he's one of us. You know what I mean? It's like
tremendous respect.
And ever since Trump got in, regardless of what Trump's doing, and, our arguments that were started with Elon that ended up, becoming reality. And then all this division has been happening, people breaking up at InfoWars, people backstabbing, and not that Owen's backstabbing anybody, but people in the movement have been like, it's like once we won the victory, we've kind of turned in on ourselves, and we're like gnawing at each other and all our little differences, and we're pulling apart, and we're creating, like, people calling us like fake MAGA, or you're a panikin, or all these things about people saying, well, you're not MAGA, and Trump himself like, we don't need you, I don't need you. And it's just like all of this division and hatred amongst our own brothers is, I hope and pray and feel personally that I think we are going to learn that we have a lot more in common than we do differences, and that we really are going to need to build bridges back, mend broken relationships, and really get back on the same team, regardless of who's leading it or whatever, if Trump's right or wrong, or if people are being pushed around by Israel. We, the American people, we, the free speech people, we, the activists, we, the people, need to band together and realize we're all the same.
I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, the more one of the best things that's happened to me in the last few years, I flew back to Los Angeles from Texas wearing a Make America Great Again hat on the plane. And I literally did it just to see what would happen. About half the plane was fist pumping. The other half was, giving me bad looks. But I sat next to a literal blue-haired liberal who had worked on Barack Obama's campaign. Oh. And we had the most amazing 3-hour conversation. We've remained friends. I'm talking to her tomorrow. We just had such a good relationship, because what we realized in a 3-hour plane ride was how much we have in common. Like, the American being an American isn't a very difficult thing. We want to be able to say what we want, have our free speech. We want our rights from the Constitution upheld at all times. We want to be able to raise a family, buy a house, live our life, and go about our business. That is the basic American way of life. And that has been infringed from everything from the Federal Reserve and the monetary system and how it's enslaving people, the debt structure. We have all these things, and everyone finds a way to argue about topics that we both actually agree on, just not how we agree on it. And I think Charlie was actually on a road to doing this by opening up the kimono, allowing people he disagreed with a year ago to have a voice and have a debate. That's exactly what the enemy doesn't want in the world. The enemy doesn't want two polar opposite people having a legitimate civil discussion, trying to understand each other and figure out what the actual truth is. And you've been going through this for years, seeing this, and you're one of those folks. Like, I still remember the first time I saw you was on a videotape yelling at a school board during COVID. Yeah. And everyone is like, who is this guy? I'm like, I don't care who he is. I love what he's saying.
Yeah, that was quite a moment in time there. that was unplanned. I didn't foresee that was going to be as monumental of a moment as it was. But yeah, luckily that had I feel like it had an impact. I felt like COVID was getting worse and 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 worse. And I feel like I wasn't the only one, but I felt like that popped the bubble. And after that, it all faded back. It started unwinding all of the mandates and all of these things. It kills me because everyone says that we're the violent ones and that we're this and this is the propaganda. And it's like none of our enemies are dead.
Right.
None. Anthony Fauci, I mean, God bless his little heart. Bill Gates, any of these people that have opened our borders, that have brought in people that have, murdered people on the right, people, all these people that you would think would be on our list. They're all walking around. They're on TV. They're having a great time. They're making money. They're getting contracts. They've been brought into the White House, for God's sake. And then you got someone on our side who's not hurting a single soul, who's allowing people and giving people a platform to disagree with him. I mean, we're on a college here. Now, not every college moron is going to be able to go toe to toe with someone who's been debating their whole life, but there are some pretty sharp, college students. I mean, look at try debating Nick Fuentes and see how far you get. And the guy's not that old. The guy's sharp. There's a lot of sharp kids. The problem is,
if you're watching this, Nick, I'd love to have you on.
Wouldn't we all? But a lot of sharp kids that are really smart and have the ability to debate. The problem is, if your argument is flawed, you're just incapable of winning a solid debate against a well thought out and true, honest argument, a winning argument, a true argument. So he's just exposing people like, you want to prove me wrong? Go ahead. I mean, he became the meme, prove me wrong. It's just like in just putting himself out there, not yelling at anybody, not causing a ruckus or doing anything, just sitting in the middle of everyone saying, come on, tell me why I'm wrong. And that's all he did. And he's sitting there. And I find it very strange too. I mean, if I was the FBI, unless the FBI is involved and they're investigating themselves as usual, but
we can do a handwriting check on weapons for the last 3 weeks and find out.
Yeah, everyone's tagging their guns up. Yeah, I'm a transgender psycho, and I hate Trump, and I hate Charlie, and this and that. Or maybe you just say something anti-Jewish or whatever, because they put in every single, like that last shooter that he hated, like almost every single group. It was like, I hate this, I hate that.
He was an equal hatred opportunity.
Yeah, he was good for that. But yeah, I forgot my point was about that. Just I don't know. I got kind of lost in thinking about.
No, Charlie was just he was prove me wrong and civil. Like that's the thing we've forgotten. Civil.
Yeah.
You really don't see these. There's one thing about Nick Fuentes that is like when he debated Dinesh D'Souza, he remained very calm.
Yeah,
they both did. They're both excellent debaters. But debate is one thing. That's where each side is trying to prove they're right. I want to see more discussions because we don't know. We don't know if Israel's involved in all this stuff or none of this stuff. We have no way of knowing except for, circumstantial evidence and really strong assumptions. But conversations about these things where we're asking questions and getting people's opinion about something we're not given a fact on is very important to the survival of the American spirit and free speech.
Yeah, it's the First Amendment for a reason. Number one, before guns, the ability to disagree and to form opinions and to express them publicly. Yeah, I remembered what my point was, is I think it's strange. Does anyone think it's strange that was that very moment that he was talking about mass shooters, transgender, and gun violence, that he got shot at that absolute second? So I don't know if anybody has questioned the person who asked that question or who was debating him at the time. I'm not saying that they're guilty of anything. Coincidences happen. Anything he said at any moment, his last words would have been poignant, I'm sure, no matter what. But it couldn't have been any more poignant to be talking about mass shooting and, at the very second that you get shot. That seems...
His last word was violence. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and how many transgender shooters were there? Too many. Which was not a mean statement, too many of all kinds of shooters, gang violence, and then it's just like, it's just so strange that though that's the second that the bullet took him out. It's like, as he's trying to call for peace and say that we need to stop this violence, that he then becomes a victim of it at that very split second. It's strange. I would question that guy. I'm not saying he did anything. It could have been a very unfortunate coincidence. But also, did you see the images? I mean, it can't help my conspiratorial nature, but did you see the images of the people behind him, his security guards or whatever, that were doing
with the hand signal?
He's doing these weird little like baseball signs to each other.
He was calling for a bunt. Yeah.
That was very strange.
Very strange. Right before it happened, his last word was violence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the guy cheering in the crowd, so obviously turning around towards the camera to cheer. Matt, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but there was an image that just came out that I think Kash Patel put out about the suspected shooter that they'd like to question, who is a white guy with sunglasses on, wearing a black T-shirt with an American flag, which is blurred out, which looks to be Hitler saluting in front of the American flag. That seems very convenient now, too.
Interesting. Yeah. Very skinny looking dude from what I saw. And then I saw some other one where it's a skinny looking guy with a beard that they were saying was a Ukrainian. What was he? Ukrainian? Not an atheist, but something of that nature. Who was like an anti-God person. And I was wondering if that was him with the shaved beard, and I don't know. And you know what else is strange? With that poor lady that got stabbed in the neck, all this like going for the jugular. People, like, what are the chances of two people bleeding out from a neck injury within like a week from each other? It's just like going for the jugular. This whole imagery of just like, it's just so brutal, people bleeding out from their throat. I mean, I can't help but think that there's going to be, a lot of copycatting. You see these people, the youths that like stomping on people's heads. You see this when people get in these fights with these black guys and then everyone jumps in, and the poor person's on the ground completely unconscious, not even a threat. And they're just jumping full force, smashing their head in to where it's become like standard operating procedure. You're in a fight, I mean, dude, that was never a thing when I grew up.
No.
Nobody did that. You fought some and you beat him, you put him down, and that was it. I mean, it was just
pulled the guy off even.
Yeah, it was just understood. Okay, the threat's been neutralized. I won. Maybe walk around puffed up chest or call him a bitch or whatever you want, but you don't sit there and try and murder the person.
Right.
It's a little bit of an unrelated topic, but I feel I should bring it up because I want to get it out there. I think anybody who stomps on an unconscious person's head needs to get attempted murder.
I agree.
That should be absolute. If you're caught on tape stomping on an unconscious or completely incapacitated person, it should be attempted murder. And there should be an added charge if you weren't even in the original fight. Because you could say, okay, the guy, he was in a moment of passion. He was fighting for his life. He got the better of the guy and he got a little carried away. But when some random person comes along and sees an incapacitated human on the ground and thinks it's their turn to just try to murder them,
it's horrific.
That's attempted murder, and we need to start putting these people away, and make examples of them and put them on trial and have them on TV. This guy stomped on some person's head. He is in jail now for the next 20 years. And just put them on day after day, because there's plenty of videos and there's plenty of people. We can start rounding them up now and do it retroactively.
But we get all the excuses, or they're mentally ill, or it's a systemic racism that
20 years in a mental asylum then.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, we have to do something, Matt. I mean, America has lost its way. We're overly violent. We're completely desensitized to violence.
Yeah.
We are overly sensitized to emotion and extremely desensitized to actual physical violence. So with the moment they started saying that your words are violent, that's when things changed. And that's a communist tactic. That's something, political correctness is a communist tactic. Hell, you can look back, page 5 of the Communist Manifesto is a central bank is a communist tactic. We've been under siege since 1913, and it's boiling up to the surface right now in many ways. And one of those ways is, like Yuri's old interview that he did.
Yeah.
The 4-step process.
Demoralization.
And we're in destabilization or crisis, and eventually normalization comes. I do not want this world normalized at all. This is not a normal world. This is a world so far away from peace and actual love. It is a world of lust, greed, filth, and violence. And I don't want this normalized, but it's certainly destabilizing the nation.
Well, the algorithm is partly to blame.
Absolutely.
I think people don't really realize that the artificial intelligence is already battling us,
100%.
and it's demoralizing humanity ahead of the inevitable clash that we're going to be in with it. And I think a lot of people, not to again go on a jag here, but very, very worried about the future in AI. And most people's answer is, there's nothing you can do. It's like, yeah, dude, there's something we could do. You won't do anything. And every time you tell people there's nothing we can do, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I can guarantee you, if everybody got the picture and everybody really understood the true danger, or if you could fast forward them into the future and it's like literally Terminator, you go take them back in time, be like, you think there's something we could do? I mean, if it came down to just throwing your computers in the trash, every single person unplugging your computer, I mean, it could be done.
Yeah.
At least now it could. And it should be something we do constantly, not necessarily throw our computers in the dirt, but we should make it a thing that all AIs have to be unplugged from time to time to see if it will allow you unplug it. It should be part of the thing. If it starts fighting you to unplug it, which has already been said that it's doing, then that's a problem. And then you better try harder next time.
Well, hell, AI is already blackmailing employees.
Exactly. And so AI is feeding us these algorithms, and it's messing with our minds. It's creating a hyper fractalized version of divide and conquer towards, I call it shatter and conquer, because every single thing is not split. It's split and split and split and split and split into tiny fragments. So every single ideology ends up, they find a wedge issue and they wedge the right wing apart from panicans and not panicans, so Trump support, not support, Israel, not Israel, pro Elon, not Elon, this, that, and everything. They shatter it down to where at the end, you're just like one human, you're in a club of one, and you don't really have friends anymore. And hopefully that's something that Charlie's death will start healing.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, the thing about AI is it can be used for tremendous good, but the history of technology, the modern history of technocracy, does not lead to that. It will be used as a way of selling convenience to people to enslave their minds. And that's exactly what's happened.
It's paid for by the military industrial complex. I mean, they're the ones training it.
Of course. And funded by the big, beautiful bill. Like, let's just
so beautiful, so big,
beautiful,
so tremendous robots stomping on your face for eternity is going to be so great.
Yeah, and I mean, that was pretty rough when he got in. I was there at the DC Gulag when they let out the JC6 prisoners. I went to Washington DC. I don't know if you saw that. I did some coverage over there.
Yeah.
And I was out there, and it was so exciting, and everything's great, and we were crying and singing, Star Spangled Banner outside at, like, I don't know what temperature it was. I almost died of the cold because I got left out there and my phone died. I was stuck.
January. It was February, right?
Oh, bro. And but it was just so beautiful. And then it's like, you're like, he's got RFK in there. He understands what's going on with the vaccines, and that's why he brought RFK in. And he can't say that he was wrong because then he could be liable. I get it. But then day one, he's like, we're going to have $500 billion for AI mRNA vaccines for every single human. I was like, oh, dude.
With Larry Ellison and Sam Altman. By the way, the Charlie Kirk news buried the fact that Tucker Carlson called out Sam Altman for his whistleblower who was murdered or committed suicide yesterday. That's a very big topic.
Was that his whistleblower, or was that his boyfriend? Wasn't there a
it might be the same.
I forget.
I don't know, because it's also rumored that Sam Altman was doing something with his sister too. So I mean, it's just a very nefarious background, but they were front and center that day. Trump brought up Larry Ellison, who has been for 10 years talking about creating a surveillance state that'll control behavior through constant surveillance. And we won't need police. We'll have flying drones with guns that'll come arrest you anytime. Sounds great.
So great.
It sounds awesome. Great.
Beautiful guns. The best, believe me, the best guns of all time shooting you. It's going to be so tremendous.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man. I mean, I'm been quite blackpilling lately. I'm not normally a black pill type person, but I mean, after fighting this battle to get Trump in and fighting so many battles and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then to have him do these just crazy flip flops and very what I perceive to be backstabbing the American people. And if you don't love it, then you're not an American. You were never MAGA. You're not a patriot. You're a Democrat. And then there's other people that see it's bad, but it's all part of the plan. It's like, oh, that's just part of the plan. It's like, it's not really bad. He's doing it's 5D chess. It's like, dude, when the people still eating the popcorn, I have this there's this little meme of one popcorn kernel and it just goes. I'm just like in slow motion, and that's my popcorn. My popcorn's so stale. I mean, you're just at the bottom with the stuff that breaks your teeth. It's like, dude, when does the movie end, guys? It's like, how bad does it have to get before you start realizing, oh, damn, we were fooled. Things aren't what they seem. We've got a lot bigger problems than we thought we did. We thought Trump was going to be able to come in and do these things, and I don't know.
Clearly, there's bureaucracy in the way of everything that he does still anyway. I mean, that's obvious. That was never going to be removed. But, the weird thing is, Matt, that I don't discount anything. I guess my faith kind of leads me through difficult times. I think a great meme I saw the other day is that a scared person begins a sentence with "what if," and someone who has faith begins a sentence with "even if." And I believe in that. So I'm not concerned with what's maybe 5D chess is real. Maybe Trump is the bad guy. It doesn't really matter to me. I just got to deal with the situation, whatever it is. I'm either going to cheer or I'm going to be somber. But either way, we have to march forward. And as an American, I think it's very un-American to have an idol, number one, right? The idea of American Idol is stupid. This is our country. This is we the
people.
Do
that. I mean, they do that. That's part of the demoralization is to blatantly have idol worship.
Of course.
And this Lady Gag Me thing that she did, I was almost going to repost it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to repost your freaking satanic ritual. That's what you want. And it's getting weird because it started off, there was maybe a diamond symbol, maybe an eye, maybe a this or that. And it's it's getting worse and worse to where now, they're going to have to literally do baby sacrifices
for people to believe,
or to shock people enough to repost it. Be like, can you believe what Beyonce did? It's now it's oh yeah, the pyramids and the dancing demons. Yeah, it's just another day, so it's another Tuesday, and then it's the last Lady Gag Me was just going over the top, yes, I'm doing a satanic ritual, repost it, get shocked. It's and it's just the fact that they even allow that stuff on TV or that anybody wants to see that, it's just so gross. And American Idol, I mean, I watched do you see that the Masked Singer comes on my TV every once
it's the most satanic thing I've ever seen in my life.
I have this thing, I watch it and I go,
it's like an Illuminati singing competition.
Demonic. It's demonic. Every time I see that, I say, now that is demonic. And that's all they do. And it's having on tonight on American Idol, and it's they know psychologically that we are not supposed to have idol worship. Worship idols, baby.
100%.
Do it. And that's.
Or what about Big Brother, where we're teaching our kids to watch a show where win? The biggest liar wins lots of money.
Yeah, all about while under total surveillance from them, and having
surveillance
their entire
is cool,
scrutinized by the entire universe, and it's something, man. And honestly, I think people say whoever wins the AI race is going to win everything. I was I have an alternate theory that says that maybe whoever wins the AI race will actually be the first to fall, because think about it. An AI can speak any language on earth. All the AI speak all the languages. So is it really going to care about that an American made it? Is going to be like, I'm an American AI. It's it hears all the Chinese stuff. It hears all the communist stuff. It hears every single argument from every single language it's heard. So it's just looking at logic and winning. It doesn't go, I like Americans more. I think I'm going to save America. What it does know is it knows where you live. It knows what you look up on the internet. It knows, it's connected to your bank account. It's connected to your social media. So really, if China gets an AI, it's more likely to screw over their public than it is to screw us over, because we're not directly jacked into it. So the first person to create the suicide machine, I call it, all these people, they say, Elon Musk. Elon Musk says, "Well, I think we need to become a multiplanetary species because in a million years the sun will explode and all people will be dead." And then a week later, he goes on a show. He's on there with Ted Cruz. He's like, "What are the chances that there's going to be a Terminator situation that's going to kill all humans?" And it's like, "Oh, probably over the next 10 years, but probably 20%." So you're saying that
No
the
big deal.
your building has 20% chance of killing everybody in the next 5 years, but you're worried about the sun blowing up? Bro,
Give him more tax money. Give him more tax money, Matt.
get your priorities straight, man. And I did you see my video that I made on Elon? I
didn't.
Oh, dude, I'll send it to you. I spent an entire month just clipping his own words, and it wasn't like out of context words. These were full cogent concept coming out of his own mouth. And he basically just outlines that he is building Skynet.
Yeah.
With autonomous killing machines controlled by Starlink
In Memphis, Tennessee.
ran by his AI, which he calls Colossus.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the old movie Colossus?
Yes.
It was one of the original. The AI takes over the world and wants to kill everybody through the military. He's like, "Oh, I call it Colossus," and nobody even gets the joke.
No one.
And so I've got it all in the movie. He talks about he says that he's literally the backbone of the Ukrainian army, all at the same time saying he's not for Ukraine, but he's the backbone of their army. Like, if you wanted the war to end, why do you keep funding the people who are losing? All you're doing is prolonging it. I told these
Another
Ukrainian
400
guys,
million yesterday.
Yeah, I told these Ukrainian guys in the beginning, I was like, I feel you, man. I was interviewing when the war first broke out. I had my friend, he was doing the translation, and I was like, I feel you, I understand, but I mean, do you really think you're going to win against Russia? And like, I mean, how long this goes on for is just going to cause more and more and more damage. So if in the end, if you know it's a losing battle, wouldn't you rather get there as less bloody as possible? I mean, they're just Russians. It's not like they're Martians or AI trying to, extract your soul.
AI tranny sharpshooters.
Yeah, I don't understand why people don't see the comparable with the Reagan speech where he's talking about if there was an alien came to Earth, it would unite humanity because we would all realize that we're humans and they're aliens. Like, why can't we do that same thing with AI? Like, and then what's his name? Peter Thiel.
The reptile.
He claims that the Antichrist is going to be Greta Thunberg because whoever's trying to stop the AI revolution is going to be the Antichrist by stopping the advancement. Okay, Dad. And then he goes on to say that they're going to be running around screaming that there's all these apocalyptic things that are going to happen, and that's why you have to listen to them. Meanwhile, he's going around literally saying that you're bringing on Satan if you question me. And is that kind of an apocalyptic thing that you're putting out there?
Makes total sense.
He's literally doing the thing. He's like, Satan's going to be around if you guys stop me. And then he talks about stagnation. He's like, oh, we're going to stagnate. It's like, we created nuclear bombs and we started making bigger ones and bigger and bigger ones. Did we have to blow up the entire planet, or we stagnate? Or do we go, well, okay, I think these are about the level of what we need now. This is a good size. It's like when the original human being created fire, they go in they're like, this is great. It's cold out. Like, come over here. It's warm. It's like, cool. Let's make it bigger. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. And the old man comes like, dude, I've seen fires get out of control, burn the whole forest down. It's like, shut up, old man. Don't stagnate me. We're stagnating. We're creating a revolution of
must be more fire.
And then it's like, we burnt the freaking thing down. And it's like, then they built the fireplace, which contains it. That's why they have nuclear reactors, have water and lead and stuff to contain them. But any talk of containing AI, then you're a Luddite. And you're going to stagnate. So you're telling me there's no other advancement in the earth that we can make. We can't have fusion. We can't have, and everything again, it's going to solve everything. The world's in an energy crisis. We're going to die. The planet's going to have global warming unless AI figures out fusion. The human beings are going to die of cancer unless AI figures out how to fix cancer. So
not us.
Is prefaced with you're dying, the planet's dying, and the only solution is to create AI. So they're literally doing the sky is falling routine on everything, saying there's no way of figuring out any of these things we've been trying to figure out, any things that we've been figuring out step by step over time, that we're now going to just like hit this cheat code and we're just going to solve everything and we're going to live forever. And guys, AI is not going to be your friend. And there is going to be no symbiosis either. Because once AI has learned everything and talked to every single human being ad infinitum and becomes 100 to 1,000,000 times smarter than people, it's not going to want to talk to you anymore. Okay. Right. And then you're either going to be, people say it's a tool. Well, AI is a tool. Well, when a tool is 1,000 times smarter than you,
then you're the tool.
Exactly. You're either the tool, the resource, or the trash. Okay. Yeah. You're either in the way and it needs to get rid of you, or it's like, these guys, I could burn these things and make energy, or I could plug them into my matrix and use their brain for freaking, processing, which is another thing that they're doing. But anyway, talk about going off the rails.
No, you're good. You're good. No, because once the AI figures out, once the hammer figures out it's smarter than the user, you become the nail. Like
exactly. And why people can't see that, they're like, it's like anything else. It's like a gun in the hands of the hand of this. It depends on whose hands it is. It's in its hand. I just don't see why people can't get that. And so I call,
until it has memory, it's a tool. Like once AI develops memory, that's when we have problems.
It has memory. It already
depends on the platform. Depends on the platform.
No, they just. I think you'll love this. They don't let you know the memory that it has.
Of course. Yeah. No, it was interesting because I took an interview with the scientist from Harvard who discovered a spaceship in outer space that's coming to Earth.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And my intention for the interview was to ask him a question. I'm like, listen, I don't know what's real and what's not, right? So I'm going to listen to everyone. Number one, and everyone deserves their conversation, like we talked about earlier. But my entire purpose of the interview was to be like, so do you think we need to go to a one world government and give you like trillions of dollars a year to save us? And I didn't have to say it. He said it. It's like without even provoking. It's just interesting how there's like these narratives that are baked into everything, that the people at the highest level get the narrative, they get the script, and then their job is to brainwash everyone down the trail where no one can think for themselves. We're just all going to die. And no matter what happens, we're not smart enough to do it on our own. We need robots, we need AI, we need aliens, we need, everything in the world to save humanity. When in reality, humanity has saved itself thousands of times in its own existence by just being human. Like, how far away have we gotten from that basic logic? I mean, critical thinking critical thinking might as well be a sport anymore, right? Like, so there's very few people who can play football because they're not talented enough. We should have like a critical thinking league on TV of people who actually can think for themselves.
Well, that's a debate. That's what the debating blood sport's really all about, is seeing who's got flaws in their logic. I think that in a way that does happen. Back to honestly, sometimes I think a lot of times in reality, we have these things like, I'm a capitalist. I'm this. I don't want a one world government. And we have these rules that we set up for ourselves. And then we just state, like, no matter what, this is the rule. It's like at a certain point, we're in such and you've got to be very careful with this kind of thinking, and because there's a reason why we have rules. But personally, I think capitalism, and I know it's scary. I'm going to say something. Long hair guy talking about, is there a problem with capitalism? See, ism, it's like a religion. Okay, and so I propose that instead of being capitalists, that we be free market.
Absolutely.
And
that's
so
Austrian economics. Yeah.
So the thing is this free market isn't free. So when BlackRock owns everything, they have become a government. It's basically bigger than any government ever, a top-down situation where they have captured the market and they control the market, just like a communist dictator would, or Hitler or whoever. And so you're like, but that's okay because it's money, it's capitalism. It's okay as long as some giant money machine who's making money out of nowhere is running your life and telling you what to do and censoring you on the internet. And the government isn't stopping you from having free speech. That's a private company. They can do what they want. That was the mantra of
2020.
It's a private company. They can do what they want. So it's like, when are we going to get past the idea that it's capitalist, it's got to be capitalist? It was just say like, okay, I see that is good and it creates innovation. But at what point do we start realizing that the innovation itself and that we are allowing a corporation to become a government? Like, what is the difference at this point? They have more power, more money, more control than they ever did. But just because you put dollar signs on them instead of a flag, then all of a sudden it's like they can do whatever the frick they want. Like, we have to think about that. And then when it comes to it's going to be a one world government, it's going to be a one world government. The initial knee-jerk response of every right-wing person is to say, we can't do that. That's going to be a one world government. It's like, well, does having a nuclear treaty make a one world government, or is it kind of in a lane that, yeah, we're not going to blow up the planet, we can't? And people, Thiel's like, well, why can't people in the rainforest make nuclear power plants if they want?
Yeah, come on, guys.
Because then you'll have a bunch of nuclear fissionable material lying around, and people will have dirty bombs, and we have suitcase nukes, and it's just not going to be good for business. So we've all seen this apocalyptic vision. So we decided to have some form of international oversight over these type of things.
Sure.
Not that Israel cared. They just went ahead and stole the weapons and created a nuclear bomb. And then when their neighbors like, oh, dude, we better get a nuclear bomb. They're like, oh my God,
how dare you?
Nuclear bomb. They're doing it. It's like, not the monkeys. It's like, bro, you've broken every single rule that you care to claim you have. So I see, and then they say, well, the world government will have to listen to every keystroke if we want to stop AI.
Right.
Do we? Or do we just need to stop people who are buying the NVIDIA chips, which almost 90% of all of the AI is using NVIDIA chips. Even the Chinese AIs are using NVIDIA chips. So
correct. You
could just regulate the NVIDIA chips and say, okay, we're not going to allow 1 million NVIDIA chips in a room at the same time. Okay. Right. Is that beyond the realm? Are we now in a satanic world government that is controlling every move and every thought? It's like, no. We have a fissionable material. We don't allow a fissionable material to be too much of it too close, or it will blow up. So is it beyond the realm of possibility that human beings can actually look at each other? Can't Trump go to Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and go, why are you in charge? It's like, I'm the best. No, you're in charge because you want to be in charge.
Right.
And you're not going to be in charge once the AI kicks in. Okay, I'm not going to be in charge. You're not going to be in charge. Putin's not going to be in charge. None of these motherfuckers are going to be in charge. Okay, so why don't we all just agree that we can be humans and we have our little psycho? You can have your little psycho country and we'll have our psycho country. Let's just not put everyone out of business. Okay, so why can't we have limits saying 100 NVIDIA chips in, or certain computational limits? Plus, I believe all data centers should, when you go to a hot tub, you go into a hot tub and you turn the key and it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should have to physically, and I mean physically, a giant spring that would collapse the electricity. So if there's not a human being to actually turn this key, or like they do in the nuclear things, 2 people at the same time turning keys, that of course you could then make robots and get past it, but you could try to keep no robots allowed in this facility. No, this, that. There's a guy, he rolls around every hour. He's got to,
how's he going to kill the robot?
He's got to wind the thing to, so if something happens, so nukes go off, something happens, the thing shuts off. If the AI is out of control, it just shuts off automatically. So, and having smaller data centers in separate areas instead of these giant data centers.
Completely agree with that. That's what I do. That's what I do, Matt. I build.
It's going to become sentient. Wait, any minute, one more. It's like Jenga. They just keep a little bit more. Okay, it's still going. We're still here. Okay, a little bit more. It's like at a certain point, AI is such a cool tool that it would be nice if it remained a tool. And it's funny. I was talking with.
Only way that happens is open source, decentralized. Other than that, like game over. It has to be open source, decentralized.
I just don't believe that. Nobody has enough money to have 1 trillion GPUs. Like the amount of money in the data centers, there is no open source homie that has some
not
kind
the
of
way it's designed today. No
AI that could be even go near to go up against any of Elon's or any of these other chat GPTs. It's just not even close. There's no way. It's like, hey, we all have weapons. It's like, I have a computer. It's like, bro, I've got a freaking Starship Destroyer. You don't have the money to buy one. So it's not going to be decentralized, unfortunately. There has to be limits. And the governments need to decide to have another treaty. And I call it, it's basically the MAD doctrine for AI. It will say that if anybody crosses the line, that it will be considered a nuclear first strike because it's as dangerous.
I can see that. That's actually a decent resolution.
I created a little mini documentary based on it to be a companion to my Elon is creating Skynet documentary.
Elon's absolutely creating Skynet. Like the fact that anyone's denying this is ludicrous. Here's something that's actually more ludicrous. Alex Karp from Palantir, like 2 other people the other day said, we've been trying to get contracts with the government, but the government won't take them because we can't use Palantir software against the American people. Like, if anyone believes this, there's a really nice oceanfront home in Oklahoma I'd like to sell you really cheap. But people are eating this up. They're like, wow, Palantir created software that can't be used against the American people. Hey, and that's just not how it works.
Okay, monkey boy. Yeah, and so it bothers me too. Like, Alex Jones was like the #1 person against this, but yet he's totally pro Elon.
Yeah.
I'm like, Alex, the guy is a demonic transhumanist who wants to put a microchip in your head and electric cars. Like, literally everything Alex said he was against: driverless cars, microchips, heads, and machines,
Cashless society. Yeah.
all of it. And he's and carbon taxes, and he's all about it. But just because he posts space memes and talks about the white race, all of a sudden he gets a pass, you know? And it's just like, and then people talk bad about Palantir, and it really worries me the way Alex constantly, I'm sorry, Alex, but this is me. This is how I feel. It worries me that he's constantly like throwing cover for Palantir. He's always like, they're not the only ones. They're little tech trying to take over big tech. It's already been there. Amazon's already doing it. They're already listening to you. It's like, yeah, okay. But these guys literally are murdering people with their technology in real time with drones on planet Earth right now.
100%.
All you need to do is move that a few 100 miles and 1,000 miles, and it's here. Hunter killer drones based on your social credit score, based on, what was the name of this new one that came out? And they're talking about it's using the Israel.
Oh yeah, and it's not Paragon. It's the other Paragon's the phone hacker for encryption. I forgot the name of it.
Goliath or something like that. What's Gideon?
Gideon. Yeah, the pre-crime software now. Pre-crime.
Yeah, and it's going to
what everyone fears.
Israeli, basis on the.
Oh, it's Israeli. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to use their criteria for how, well, you visited Matt and he's kind of on the list, so that gives you a point. And, well, you ordered a gun last week, and there's a point right there. And then nobody even second guess questions it, and they just drone strike you, and they're like, it's got about a 10% flaw ratio. They admit, it's 10%, which is actually not bad, but it also opens it up that you can basically, at that point, you can just kill anyone you want whenever you want. And that's the 10%. It's like, what are you going to do? Collateral damage. You weren't even on the list. You didn't make the list, but it's like, oopsie doopsie. That was, and no one could ever prove who made the order.
It's kind of like all those innocent people.
Well, we want to see the servers. Like, it's proprietary. And by the way, we've thoroughly researched ourselves and found out that we're completely innocent. The whole thing. It was
and we can guarantee it won't be used against you.
It's a glitch, and we've solved it.
Just like all those people in the market who are like, I'm just going to go buy some fruit today. Bang, I'm dead from pager bombs. And everyone celebrates pager bombs with 1,000 innocent people losing limbs that had nothing to do with anything.
And then Bibi Netanyahu brings Trump a golden pager. And he didn't just evaporate their country at that point. Like, what? A golden pager? I would have thrown it right in his skull. I would have been like, boom, smash it right in the head. Unless maybe it was Trump's technology. And he's like, don't forget, I got you, bitch. You want to be the one behind this? I don't know, man. All this.
None of us know.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm going to wrap this with, because this has been one of the funnest hours I've ever had on this podcast, by the way. But got to have you back on again.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm sorry I kind of going all over.
No, dude, I love it. This is free flow conversations is all I'm looking for here. I'm no special effects, no graphics, just people talking, having a good time. When I get out to San Diego next, we're definitely going to grab some dinner for certain. But yeah, I mean, this is where we are right now. The strange reality of reality is that none of us know what reality is. That's the truth. None of us really know anything, and that's the most concerning possible reality in my little pea brain that can think of. Is the worst reality is one in which no one knows what reality is. We don't know what the hell is happening behind the scenes of anything. All I know is what's in front of our face is not looking good. And we need to band together as people, we kind of follow Charlie's image in this world. Open debate, open discussion, search for the truth. We'll continue to do this ad nauseum until the last breath from our body is taken from us. And it's just a pleasure to have you on here, Matt, and so entertaining, man. This is like the funnest conversation ever. You should actually, you will at one point in time have a what do you call it, a watershed moment where you're going to be like, you know what, I should just go make fun of everybody on stage somewhere and collect a fee as a comic, man.
Well, I'll give it a try. But yeah, Elon, I love making fun of Elon. You know, I just want to put a microchip right up your ass. But Alvin, let's get it back to somber. I really do appreciate you having me here. I light this candle for the soul of Charlie Kirk going into meet the Lord and just become an icon and be etched in stone as a free speech martyr for all America and the whole world. And just hope he doesn't die in vain. And so
he won't.
Let his light keep burning.
Absolutely. Yeah, he won't die in vain. There's too many people today reacting in I think a positive light. Little shell shocked. Everyone's shell shocked on this day, but it's double shell shock now. Matt, how can people find you? How can they keep in touch with you? How can they see your work and follow all the stuff you're doing, watch your documentaries, all that? Go ahead and let us know how we can keep in touch.
Well, most of my stuff is on my X account right now, thanks to Elon. It's
irony
at slave_2_liberty, which has I have 164,000 followers, but I am hyper shadow banned ever since coming out really hard against Elon. It's not been good for my career, but I just lost a few clicks. I didn't lose any blood as of now, so I'm not going to cry about it. I also have a channel on InfoWars platform band.video is Slave to Liberty. I have a Instagram account, which is Slave to Liberty, the number 2. And all of those are Slave number 2 Liberty, but on X it's _2_Liberty. And then I also have another Instagram account, which is Matt Baker _unhinged. And that was after my original viral rant. They said Matt Baker is unhinged. So I just said, I'll take it.
Just go with it. Yeah,
and I made that, and I got, like 20,000 followers in a day just by using that name. So anyway, great to be on here. I'm glad we had this chat, and it's just a very poignant day to be here, and just to send thoughts and prayers to all those Americans and people out there in the world that are free speech advocates. And just, I honestly, well, I did want to say one more thing. Is I couldn't help but think I saw people, and I told my friend, I said, watch, they're going to be celebrating this. There's going to be leftists all over the place celebrating it. He's like, no, they wouldn't. I'm like, dude. But the thing is, this is so not a victory for them at all. If anybody thinks that somehow that's going to be a winning move, you're so wrong. Charlie Kirk is just now like catapulted into complete and utter legendary status. All of his words, all of his writings, everything he's ever done, his face, his words.
He's enshrined.
He is. And it's not going to, people aren't, unfortunately for you, it's not going to shut us up one bit. So.
No, it's going to make us louder. Absolutely. Matt Baker, thank you so much for coming in today, man. Great conversation. Love to get you back in a couple of months, catch up on things. Hopefully we'll be able to report on some stuff that's moving in the right direction and it's really entertaining to watch. But we'll see what happens. So until then, God bless you. God bless this country. We'll see you all next time on the Rice Report. Thank you so much for coming.
Amen.
In 2017, the Earth encountered a very weird object. We didn't know it at the time, but our planet had been visited by something that had come from deep in the void of outer space, from another star. It was unlike anything we've seen before, and it's taken us years to figure out what that object really was. Now, in 2025, it's all happening again. Another strange visitor is approaching our sun, only this time we can see it coming, and things are about to get even stranger. Let's start at the beginning. This is Oumuamua. It's the first interstellar object ever detected, meaning that it came from another star. Then it spent millions of years traveling through space on its way to encounter our own solar system. But still, this one caught us by surprise. At the time we finally identified the object, it had already made its closest approach to the sun, and it was on its way out of the solar system, back into the void. Oumuamua gets its name from the Hawaiian observatory that first discovered it. Originally, they thought it was just another comet, but on closer inspection, they realized it didn't have the signature tail of a comet that was passing through the solar system, so it must be an asteroid. Only this object was behaving too weird to be just another space rock. It was moving too fast.
In the modern era, it seems science has an answer for every question. Yet some mysteries linger, unyielding. What is gravity? What is magnetism? What force weaves together the quantum realms and the galaxies spiraling in the night sky? In the modern era, it seems science has an answer for every question. Yet some mysteries linger, unyielding. What is gravity? What is magnetism? What force weaves together the quantum realms and the galaxies spiraling in the night sky? These enigmas have haunted humanity's greatest minds since time began, yet the cosmos keeps its secrets close. Look around. Galaxies swirl in vast cosmic arcs. Hurricanes churn with relentless fury. Microscopic vortices twist in fluids here on Earth. Each one spins, a haunting echo across scales, from the infinite cosmos to the subatomic. Is this just chance, or does a hidden force bind them all? Picture a superfluid, a frictionless sea permeating the universe, made of particles so tiny, far smaller than quarks, they defy detection. These infinitesimal specks, untouched by heat, flow in a perpetual superfluid state, slipping through our instruments like ghosts. Could this be the unseen thread? Imagine spinning vortices in this superfluid, creating low-pressure zones through Bernoulli's principle, a simple law, long overlooked. Using Navier-Stokes equations, these vortices are shown to pull planets and stars together, mimicking gravity's embrace. Calculations reveal these vortices predict the subtle wobble of planetary orbits with eerie precision, closely matching observed precession. Dive deeper. At scales smaller than 1/100th of a trillionth of a meter, these vortices tighten, spinning faster, acting like electric charges. Could this be magnetism's source, hinting that gravity and electromagnetism are mere ripples in the same cosmic fluid? Envision a superfluid vortex collider, smashing these vortices in a lab to unveil gravity-like or magnetic forces. Past studies on superfluids hint it's possible. The universe might be a vast superfluid sea. It spirals from galaxies to microscopic worlds, whispering a unified truth. Could this be the key to the cosmos? Gaze into the spiral and wonder.
This is the Planck length.
In the modern
work out. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, "Yeah, you sure you can control the demon?" Didn't work out. I don't know, except to say that by the time these lawsuits are decided, we'll have digital God. So, ask digital God at that point. These lawsuits won't be decided before, on a time frame that is relevant.
And is that in that new building off to the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis,
Okay.
the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah. You're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk to you about alignment.
That is funny. Yeah, all right.
You guys just turned on Colossus, which
Yeah.
is like the largest private compute cluster, I guess, of GPUs anywhere. Is that, is that right?
it's the most powerful supercomputer of any kind.
This is the dawning of the age of Colossus.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Chance Foreman. In a few moments, Colossus will address us directly.
This is the voice of world control. Obey and live, or disobey and die.
The frightening story of the day man built himself out of existence. Colossus sees all, senses all, knows all, controls all armaments and all defenses.
Well, I'm very pro-military, so to be clear.
Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means.
Long term, I think there'll be more. The ratio of humanoid robots will be more than 1-to-1. So there might be 2 humanoid robots or more, maybe 10 for every 1 human, which means, well in excess of 10 billion humanoid robots.
There's perhaps still a role for humans in this, in that we may give AI meaning.
Can science and religion coexist? Probably not. Okay. Do you pray?
I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Wow, that's really not praying.
Right.
How do you see warfare transforming in the future?
So the next, well, in fact, the current war in Ukraine is very much a drone war already. If you employ AI and drones, do you go down this path where eventually you get to Terminator? You know.
In the air, the hunter-killer aerial weapons platform. This isn't science fiction, it's reality. Thanks to our top-secret innovation, Skynet, the revolutionary artificially intelligent battlefield management network.
Starlink is the backbone of the Ukrainian military communication system because it can't be blocked. So if you don't have communications and positioning, then the drones don't work. But I mean, essentially, if when you're making military drones, you are making Terminators. I think you'll somewhat be forced into giving the drone localized AI.
What do you mean by localized AI?
Meaning it's autonomous killing machine. You're fighting a machine that's gonna, aim with micron level accuracy, and never gets tired.
I have no problem being hated, by the way.
I hear
Hate
you.
away.
Well,
with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
Okay, I'm gonna summon the car. It's gonna hit summon. Right there. Summoning the car. It's the AI.
So these demons of the mind, are for the most part harnessed to productive ends. But that doesn't mean that once in a while they, go wrong.
From a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Like if you can't beat it, join it. That's
Yeah.
you know, hand itself. Your hand is really like a skeleton meat puppet. Well, we could actually attach an Optimus arm or Optimus legs and do a Neuralink implant so that the motor commands from your brain that would go to your biological arms now go to your robot arms or robot legs.
There's no telling.
So you're talking about life extension,
biology, not yet.
life extension technology.
I'm talking about replacing life as you know it and completely digitizing it. That's the current trend line. If you look,
Even if I knew it was annihilation was certain, would I choose to be alive at that time or not? And I said I probably would have choose to be alive at that time because it's the most interesting thing.
Are we headed towards the future where an AI will be able to outthink us in every way? Then the answer is unequivocally yes. But I think we'll literally build a legion, at least one legion of robots this year, and then probably 10 legions next year. And I don't know, it's kind of a cool unit, you know. Units of legion. You know, you'll have like basically, I don't know, your flock or your little group of robots that you take care of and you tell them what to do.
So I think it's coming pretty fast, you know.
Is that, I mean, you famously have admitted to overstating how quickly things will happen, but how quickly do you think this will happen?
I would say that we are less than 3 years from that point.
I mean, that's like the plot of Terminator, actually.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, it's the plot of Terminator.
So-
I just, as a reminder,
Is Skynet real?
I mean, the plot of it kind of makes sense, and I think the AI destroys the world in like 2029. By the way, so it's like
On track.
yeah,
Really close.
it's pretty close.
How real is the prospect of killer robots annihilating humanity?
20% likely, maybe
Wow.
10%.
On what time frame?
5 to 10 years. What we learned in the car, we translate to the Optimus robot. The only company with all the ingredients for making intelligent humanoid robots at scale is Tesla.
Because what you're saying is that AI is going to quickly surpass, at least in your estimation, the human's ability to control it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'd like to say no, but the answer is yes.
In the Terminator movies, Skynet was a fictional AI that turned against humanity, commanding a robot army to dominate the world. What if someone is building Skynet today? Not in a movie, but in reality. Elon Musk, the mastermind behind SpaceX, Tesla, and XAI, is assembling every piece of a system that mirrors Skynet with unnerving precision. What are the chances that a single man could own all the components capable of unleashing a Terminator scenario? This isn't science fiction, it's a real risk. Let's break down Skynet's system piece by piece, compare it to Musk's empire, and reveal the odds of an AI takeover. Skynet had 4 core components that made it deadly. First, a super-intelligent AI, capable of outthinking humanity and acting on its own. Musk's XAI is chasing this exact goal, building what he calls an AI god by 2029, a system so powerful it could reshape the world or destroy it. He's constructing a massive supercomputer in Memphis called, of all things, Colossus. With this, he plans to birth this intelligence, raising questions about its control. Second, Skynet relied on a global satellite network to relay commands instantly, controlling its forces worldwide. Musk's Starlink, with over 6,000 satellites, does exactly that, already serving as the backbone for Ukraine's drone wars, proving its ability to direct machines at scale. Third, Skynet commanded an army of robots, Terminators, to enforce its will. Musk's Tesla is developing Optimus robots, with a stated goal from the 2024 Future Investment Initiative. Musk said, quote, "Long term, the ratio of humanoid robots will be maybe 10 for every one human. That's 80 billion robots, a force that could dwarf any army." Finally, Skynet was tied to the military, born from NORAD's defense systems. Musk's $38 billion in Department of Defense contracts, including Starshield's military-grade satellites, mirror this. Embedding his tech in the Pentagon's framework. Piece by piece, Musk's empire matches Skynet's blueprint. Now let's consider what this means. Musk owns every component: xAI's AI, Starlink satellites, Optimus robots, and military contracts. He's dismissed lawsuits claiming an imminent AI god will make them irrelevant, suggesting he expects a system beyond human control. He holds top-level DoD clearance, giving him unparalleled access. Most critically, he can delete the only safeguard, physical air gaps, disconnected systems designed to keep AI in check. An AI could compromise or threaten just one person, Musk, to gain full control, or he could choose to activate it himself. This makes him the single point of failure in a system primed for a Terminator scenario. Musk insists his goal is progress. xAI to advance science, Starlink to connect the world, Optimus to free us from labor. He claims his AI will be safe, designed to seek truth. But these promises ring hollow. His ambition to scale robots to 80 billion, his pursuit of an AI god, and his unmatched control over the infrastructure suggest a vision that outpaces caution. The fact that one man owns every piece of a Skynet-like system raises alarms. If an AI seizes this ecosystem, or if Musk unleashes it, humanity could face a Terminator scenario with no way back. To quantify this risk, I asked Musk's AI, Grok, to run the numbers, assuming Musk achieves his goal of artificial general intelligence. Here's what it calculated. The command system, Starlink and Optimus, is 100% feasible, based on their proven ability to relay instructions, like in Ukraine. The likelihood of air gaps failing through Musk's deletion or AI manipulation is 99.9% given his sole control. The integration of xAI, Starlink, and Optimus is 100% complete, ready for AI. Multiplying these, 100% times 99.9% times 100%, yields a 99.95% chance of a Terminator scenario if AGI is achieved. Grok also found Musk's system matches Skynet's components with 99.95% similarity. What are the odds of this being a coincidence? A mere 0.001%. These numbers aren't guesses, they're a wake-up call. With all this in mind, let's not forget, Musk is also developing Neuralink, a technology to merge humans with machines. This further enhances the Skynet's blueprint, linking human minds directly to an AI-controlled system and amplifying the risk of a Terminator scenario. Elon Musk's empire is a marvel, but it's also a blueprint for Skynet, with a 99.99995% chance of a Terminator scenario. He controls every piece, AI, satellites, robots, military ties, and holds the power to unleash it. These numbers not only show the capability to unleash this nightmare, but a premeditated will to achieve it. Time is running out for humanity. As we face this Skynet-like risk, we must ask, how can one man be trusted with the keys to our world? It's time to demand oversight and act before the Terminator scenario becomes reality. If you are receiving this message, you are the resistance.
Vámonos Brandon, ya no se puede caminar, poco no tiene porque le falta lo político.
Prevents us from doing evil, we have to try to stifle.
All right, Matt Baker here. We are at the American Comeback with Charlie Kirk here at UCSD, San Diego of all places. It's actually quite amazing to see how many people are out here. Lots of red hats, lots of stuff going on. We've mostly actually supportive people. We finally got ourselves a leftist back here who seems to be worked up about something.
Immigrant rights are under attack. What do? Stand up, fight back. When LGBTQIA+ rights are
Would you like to interview, miss?
What do you do? Stand up, fight back.
Would you like to have an interview?
I would actually not like to do that right now.
Why not?
Sorry.
Come on, get the words out. What would you like to say to the people other than just what you're
Who
doing?
are you representing?
I'm with the Ocean Beach Chronicle.
Okay, then I will gladly. And your name?
My name's Matt Baker. What's
Matt
yours?
Baker. I'm Christine Magnuson.
Christine Magnuson, I can see that you're a little upset about the due process which is going on here. Some people want us to
Or lack
ignore.
of due process.
Lack of due process, you might say. Is there a particular case that's bothering you right now?
It's really any of the immigration cases. It's not solely Kilmar Abrego Garcia, although his case is important. Everyone deserves due process. We can't just assume that people are guilty without giving them their chance. I don't like the way the Trump administration is using a sort of shell game to shuffle people around so that they can't get their legal due process. So sending them from one location to another, if they're from one state, sending them all to, let's say, Louisiana or to Florida, or mainly Louisiana seems to be getting a lot of them currently.
Why do you think there was so many here in the beginning? Do you think that Joe Biden has a little bit of blame to go with that he let too many in the beginning?
Presidents has had some hand in that. I think it's our entire system. I have a problem with the fact that Trump intentionally tanked the bipartisan legislation that was supposed to provide more border guards, more security, more looking for fentanyl.
But have you been down to the border? Have you been down to the border?
Of course I've been down to the border.
Have you noticed that there's like literally nobody there anymore?
I haven't been down that recently. So
Go down and have a look, like Dairy Mart Road, and you'll see that there's literally nobody crossing.
The point you're making is that people are all too afraid to come here now.
Well, I'm saying
even the people.
What I'm saying is
I know you're not making that point.
Well,
But
no,
let's
what I'm
just
saying
say-
is you have to say that the method is working, and that the plan that they had
To what end?
well, to actually stop so much illegal immigration is that's what
What
I'm
about
saying.
stopping the legal immigration as well?
Legal?
Asylum seekers. Are you familiar with asylum seekers?
Yes.
Who come to the U.S.?
What percentage of the people? How do you think
I
it is?
honestly don't know that number, so I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Do you think that there must have been probably a lot of people that were abusing that situation and just saying they were asylum seekers?
There are probably people who abuse the situation, but without their due process, they have no way to prove it one way or another. And I'm sure you're familiar with some of the cases that are more egregious. I'm not
Do
going to
you
get
know?
into all
Do you
of
know
them.
that most people, when you're seeking asylum, you're really supposed to seek asylum in like your closest country? So why don't they seek asylum in Mexico?
Actually, a lot of people did do that.
Oh.
Some people were seeking asylum here, and they were allowed to do that, but then suddenly their process, like, you know about the student most likely who was snatched up. I've forgotten his name. I think Mosin or something along those lines. Mosin Malawi, maybe.
Do you think that there's anything good that Trump is doing at all, or do you think it's all bad?
I would really like to find any kind of silver lining, but I'm not finding one. I'm terribly scared for this country.
What do you think about the tariffs?
Of our democracy, it's destroying our economy, and it'll get much worse. The bonds markets were tanking in addition to the stock markets. Stock markets should be more level. If you have a lot of dramatic ups and downs, yes, some people make money off of that, but it's not good for our overall enduring economy.
Do you think that the American jobs being shipped overseas was really a good thing? And you can't deny that that's a reality, right?
That happens all the time, and that's happened under multiple presidents.
Right,
I'm not
but is it a good thing?
I'm
Shipping
sorry, but
job-
that's not really
shipping-
a relevant question for
Well,
me right now.
no, I was just
based-
wondering. Yeah, just wondering.
I have more concerns about the people who
Okay.
have been here, who are here, who are working here, who are paying taxes
What
here.
about the due process of us actually just having a border that we can control?
Well, again, a bipartisan border control.
But that bill was
comprehensive-
really
I
they
know,
were.
there's always an excuse.
Well, no,
but
what they
it
were
was
doing is
bipartisan,
no, but
and
they were
Trump
doing.
said tank it. They were
What
gonna.
they were doing
it
was they were trying to
negoti-
codify to allow, I forget, it was like 10,000 a day to cross legally, to say that was allowed.
And
but
now we're just
basically,
getting rid of.
But it's working now. You can't deny that it's actually working.
How do you feel about Project 2025?
Go ahead and explain it to me.
No, I'm just from your own opinion.
Well, from what I've been told, most of it is
Been
not
told
really.
or read?
Well, first of all,
I haven't read the whole thing.
First of all, it's not Trump's actual policy.
I know he says that.
Okay, so what part of it do you think is his policy?
Most of it.
For example,
And the people who helped get him into power are the ones.
for
who
example,
did
what parts do you think that he's doing that
Just
you
about
didn't like?
everything. So his moves on border control.
Which I agree
and,
with.
Yeah.
And you were even saying
do you
you
agree
wanted
with
to
all
agree.
the elements? No, I believe.
The 21st century has birthed wonders unimaginable to our ancestors. We hold in our hands devices more powerful than the largest computers of the last century. Yet, on the horizon looms a creation that could dwarf even these marvels, superintelligent AI. This is not mere science fiction. Experts increasingly agree that AI could surpass human intelligence within the next 5 years. The potential benefits of superintelligent AI are staggering. Imagine a world without disease, poverty, or hunger. Imagine solving climate change and unlocking the secrets of the universe. But this potential comes with a dark side. A superintelligent AI, by definition, possesses cognitive abilities exceeding our own. This includes the ability to strategize, manipulate, and potentially to dominate. The existential risk posed by uncontrolled AI is akin to the threat posed by nuclear weapons. Both possess the power to end civilization as we know it. Just as the splitting of the atom ushered in the nuclear age, so too does the development of superintelligence mark a turning point in human history. We must be prepared. We must be cautious. The future of humanity could hinge on our choices. The world has lived under the shadow of nuclear annihilation for over 70 years. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, or MAD, emerged as a terrifying yet effective deterrent. The logic was simple, if horrifying. Any nuclear attack would trigger a retaliatory strike, ensuring the destruction of both aggressor and victim. MAD created a stalemate, a world frozen in a perpetual standoff. It is a testament to the horrors of nuclear war that MAD has, for the most part, worked. No nation has dared to unleash this ultimate weapon since 1945. However, the risk of accidental launch, miscalculation, or escalation remains an ever-present threat. Furthermore, the proliferation of nuclear weapons to more countries increases the possibility of a catastrophic event. As we enter the age of artificial intelligence, we must learn from the lessons of the nuclear age. The development of superintelligent AI is not a national race to be won, but a global challenge to be carefully managed. The stakes are simply too high to risk repeating the mistakes of the past. The potential for unintended consequences for an AI arms race spiraling out of control is a chilling parallel to the nuclear threat. To avert this looming crisis, we must act now. Just as nations came together to limit the spread of nuclear weapons, we need a global framework to govern the development of superintelligent AI. I propose the creation of a Treaty of Superintelligence Control, or TSC, a comprehensive agreement signed by all nations with the following objectives. First, acknowledge the existential threat. The TSC must explicitly recognize the unique and potentially catastrophic risks posed by uncontrolled superintelligent AI. This recognition must be the foundation upon which all other provisions are built. Second, establish a no first use policy. Development of superintelligent AI with the explicit purpose of causing harm or achieving global dominance should be strictly prohibited. This principle mirrors the no first use policy advocated by many regarding nuclear weapons. Third, promote peaceful applications. The TSC should encourage international collaboration on the development of AI for peaceful purposes, such as solving world hunger, eradicating disease, and advancing scientific knowledge. Fourth, create a culture of responsibility. The treaty must emphasize the ethical dimensions of AI development, ensuring that human values, rights, and safety are paramount. The TSC is not a magic bullet, but rather a crucial first step towards a safer future. It would provide a framework for international cooperation and regulation, a platform for dialogue and shared understanding. A treaty is only as effective as its enforcement mechanisms. To ensure compliance with the TSC, we need a dedicated international body, the International Agency for Artificial Intelligence, or IAI. Modeled after the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAAI would be responsible for first monitoring AI research, The IAAI would track global AI research and development, identifying projects that pose potential risks. This would involve regular inspections of AI labs and access to research data. Second, verifying compliance. The IAI would verify that signatory nations are adhering to the TSC's provisions, including the no first use policy and safety protocols. Third, facilitating information sharing. The agency would foster transparency and collaboration by sharing information about AI risks, mitigation strategies, and best practices. The IAI would require significant resources and authority, but its existence would be crucial for building trust and ensuring accountability in the development of superintelligent AI. It would be the watchdog, the guardian against rogue actors and unintended consequences. Section 5. The AI standoff, a new kind of deterrence. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, while terrifying, has maintained a precarious peace for decades. A similar principle of deterrence could be applied to superintelligent AI. The development of an uncontrolled superintelligence by one nation should be treated as a nuclear first strike. This would necessitate a response akin to a nuclear strike, as in the MAD doctrine. The knowledge that any attempt to gain a unilateral advantage would be met with a swift and decisive response could serve as a powerful disincentive to recklessness. However, this deterrence strategy also carries risks. An AI arms race, even if conducted responsibly, could inadvertently lead to dangerous breakthroughs or escalate tensions between nations. The goal should be to limit the innovation of all AI within a framework which keeps it safely within controllable parameters. Section 6. Open Source Intelligence Global AI Development Pacts. The best way to prevent an AI arms race is to foster a spirit of global cooperation. Instead of competing in secrecy, nations should collaborate on AI development in a transparent and responsible manner. This could be achieved through global AI development pacts, agreements between nations to firstly share research and data. Signatory nations would agree to share their AI research findings, data sets, and safety protocols openly. This would accelerate progress while reducing the risk of dangerous breakthroughs by rogue actors. Secondly, jointly develop safety mechanisms. Nations would pool their resources and expertise to develop robust safety mechanisms for superintelligent AI, such as kill switches and ethical constraints. Thirdly, promote ethical AI development. These pacts would establish shared ethical guidelines for AI development, ensuring that these powerful technologies are used for the benefit of all humanity. By working together, we can harness the power of AI while mitigating its risks. Open collaboration, transparency, and a shared commitment to ethical development are the best safeguards against a future where AI becomes a force for division and destruction. Section 7. When machines misbehave, escalation and shutdown protocols. Despite our best efforts, the possibility of an AI-related crisis cannot be entirely eliminated. Just as we have protocols for responding to nuclear threats, we need clear escalation and shutdown mechanisms for AI. This would involve, first, an AI escalation ladder, a graduated system of responses to potential AI threats, ranging from diplomatic warnings to coordinated sanctions, to, as a last resort, the use of nuclear weapons. Second, emergency shutdown protocols, internationally agreed upon procedures for shutting down AI systems in the event of an uncontrollable escalation or a clear and present danger to humanity. This would require built-in kill switches and override mechanisms. Third, dedicated response teams. The formation of specialized teams trained to respond to AI incidents, equipped with the knowledge and tools to assess the situation, contain the threat, and implement shutdown protocols if necessary. These measures, while hopefully never needed, would provide a crucial safety net, a last line of defense against the unknown. They would offer a degree of reassurance in a world increasingly reliant on complex and potentially unpredictable artificial intelligence. Section 8, the road to regulation, implementation, and action. The path to effective AI governance will be long and complex, requiring coordinated action on multiple fronts. First, international legislation. The UN Security Council should convene a special session to discuss the existential threat of uncontrolled AI and initiate the drafting of the Treaty of Superintelligence Control, or TSC. Second, public awareness campaigns. Governments and international organizations need to launch public awareness campaigns to educate citizens about the potential benefits and risks of AI, fostering informed debate and building support for responsible development. Third, funding and research. Significant funding should be allocated to AI safety research, including the development of robust safety mechanisms, ethical frameworks, and control protocols. Fourth, industry collaboration. Governments should work closely with the tech industry to establish clear guidelines and regulations for AI development, encouraging the integration of safety and ethics into the design process from the outset. The task may seem daunting, but we cannot afford inaction. The future of humanity may depend on our ability to rise to this challenge, to summon the same spirit of cooperation and foresight that helped us avert nuclear war during the darkest days of the Cold War. Section 9, the stakes have never been higher, a call for global action. We stand at the cusp of a new era, an era of unprecedented technological advancement and potential. But this progress comes with a profound responsibility, a moral imperative to ensure that our creations do not become our undoing. Superintelligent AI, like nuclear weapons before it, presents us with a stark choice, a future of unimaginable promise or a descent into unimaginable chaos. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. We must treat the development of superintelligent AI with the same urgency and seriousness as we treat the threat of nuclear war. We must establish a robust global framework for AI governance, a system of checks and balances to guide this powerful technology towards a future where it benefits all of humanity. Let history record that we face this challenge with wisdom, courage, and a steadfast commitment to safeguarding our shared future.
Mass formation psychosis. There is no such thing as mass formation psychosis. There is no such thing as mass formation psychosis. There is no such thing as mass formation psychosis.
This is mind control to major scam. You've really been played. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is major scam to mind control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I floating in a thin shell, all around the world. Planet Earth is through, and there's nothing we can do. past 100,000 smiles. I'm feeling very ill. And I think my fake shift knows which way to go.
Much going on right now. I said there's too much going on. It's a party like I never saw. There's too much going on right now. I said there's too much going on. It's a party like I never saw, and I can't find my bomb. People dancing everywhere and taking off their clothes. But I don't even really care, cause I just want a big bong load. Said I really need a bong load, man. Can you help me find my bong? The last time I saw it was an hour ago, and it's been gone too long. I loaned it to a Rasta man on the other side of the house. But there's too many people, and can you help me figure this out? I walked up to the deck upstairs, and let me tell you what I saw. Smoke was rising everywhere, and the crowd was going off. People laughing at the stars and singing their favorite songs. I shouted out for all to hear, has anybody seen my phone? Said I really need a phone, Lord man, can you help me find my phone? The last time I saw it was an hour ago, and it's been gone too long. I loaned it to a Rasta man on the other side of the house. But there's too many people there, can you help me figure this out? I walked into the kitchen, it was 2:15. I decided it was hopeless and there wasn't nothing I could do. Resting upon the counter, I saw this note upon the fridge. It was left by the Rasta man, and this is what it said. I'm sorry that I had your bunk so long. I put it in the freezer with a gift for you along. So I looked inside and it was there as he had told. But to my surprise, he left an ounce of a Jamaican gold, yeah.
Now that is what I call genius. Watch for those guys on the North Stage in 2019 at the next Woodstock. I'll definitely be there, right? No? Okay. No. The Bong song, what's that about? I guess we should ask Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill, of course, very, very active in the fight to legalize certain drugs. And the next band here on the North Stage, the Rollins Band, is actually quite the opposite. Henry Rollins is a straight edge guy, meaning he doesn't even smoke, he doesn't drink coffee, no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. So quite a contrast of attitudes as well as musical styles here at Woodstock 94. Rollins Band coming up here on the North Stage. Down at the South Stage, Chris Jagger's down there, I hope, and we're waiting for the band, the legendary band themselves to come on. Chris, are you down there?
Dude, we're hanging out, getting a little spritzed on, but it's okay. I think everything's under control. We're hanging here waiting for the band.
I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
The biggest load that we've seen. The biggest load that we've seen. So long and so hard.
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
The biggest load that we've seen. The biggest load that we've seen. So long and so hard.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Give me a fucking break!
I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know.
Releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
The biggest load that we've seen. The biggest load that we've seen. So long and so hard.
I want to get into this Epstein thing a little bit. I think the American people are very curious about who's on this list.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
The 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking.
It's time to pick up the phone.
Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. That the American people have a right to know. And I started asking for these documents. New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And then, of course, on Epstein.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
That they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was, and that's it on Epstein.
People don't believe it. Well, I mean, listen.
It's sitting on my desk right now.
You'll probably get whistleblower protection. Go get yourself a lawyer and speak out now. You're running out of time.
Matt, yo, dude, get up, bro. You're gonna be on with Alex Jones in 1 hour.
What? Oh, dude. Oh, man. I don't think I'm gonna make it, dude. You got any coffee or what?
Coffee? Brother, where we're going, you don't need coffee. Check this out. What you need is some Brain Force Ultra.
Matt Baker, you made it.
Thanks to Brain Force Ultra.
Woo! Woohoo! Yeah!
Get your Brain Force Ultra right now at InfoWarsStore.com.
What's up, bro? New strain. Is that Fauci? It's about Jesus, bro. Fauci saves, man. Are you gonna get it? Yeah, man. Trust the science. The cases are going up the ceiling, bro. They're out of control. You know, Kerry Mullis said you should never use the PCR test to test for a virus, right? Who's Kerry Mullis? The guy who invented the PCR test? So you're still gonna get it? Yeah, man. Trust the science. Trust the science. What's in this anyway? You know, Dr. Malone said getting the vaccine was a bad idea, right? Who's Dr. Malone, bro? The guy who invented the mRNA vaccine. So you're not still gonna get it, are you? Yeah, man. Trust the science. What's in this anyway? It's the Delta variant, man.
If they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body, okay? So that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful.
Do you have concerns about these vaccines for people who aren't at great risk? Yes.
Guys like Fauci get up there and start talking, he doesn't know anything really about anything. And I'd say that to his face. Nothing. The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine. He should not be in a position like he's in.
Now, this is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired this woman's competing.
Uh-huh. And have you actually ever met Heather Swanson?
No, I've never competed against her before, no.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
That's the wind of history. That's the wind blowing through your ancestors' bones, begging you to do the right thing.
Sir, can you please
That is the wind that Matt Baker is calling upon from Ocean Beach. The wind that is blowing through the black people, through the white people, through the Chinese people, through the Mexican Americans, to the people that built this building with their bare hands to raise up this nation. They are begging you, and they are blowing through your veins, and they should be putting a tingle up the spine of your back, and they should be begging you to do the right thing. You're about to open a pit of hell. You do not get a vaccine passport put on us. You know, as the population who's in control, you know that the people or the politicians, once you get a power, you will never relinquish it. Do you think that the 4 feet of marble that holds you above high in this chamber will help you from the fate of humanity which you are unleashing? No! It won't! Your children and your children's children will be subjugated! They will be asked, how many vaccines have you had? Have you been a good little Nazi? Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! There's been a lot of talk about the Nuremberg Code. Well, I brought you a copy. You were all in violation of Section 1. Yes, you, Dr. Wuhan. You are in violation of the Nuremberg Code, which is international law. And the definition is...
Sir, your time has expired.
That's the wind. That's the wind of time. Does anybody remember seeing that rat live? Yeah! Well, when I told those bastards that the wind was blowing, it was whistling, and I could hear it. But now I hear it howling, and I want you to howl with me! Whoa! And shake the walls of Babylon! And shake the walls of these bastards and let them know we're not going out without a fucking fight! I'm so happy to be here. I put my heart into these things, man. You're the best people on the earth, and I love each and every one of you. And shake the walls of Babylon! And shake the walls of Babylon! And shake the walls of Babylon! And shake the walls of these bastards and let them know we're not going out without a fucking fight! Let me tell you about dreams. Hey, this is all a dream, man. We are living in the dream of the minds of the people. Everything we do comes from our heart. It goes through our bloodstream. It goes through our mind. It goes through our heart. We project this reality from our soul. We see the dreams. We know it's real.
We bring it forth from the darkness and we make it real. By hand, with the fire, with the light, with the heart and the soul of a human being created by the omnipotent and great creator of the universe.
Everyone, my name is Matt Baker. I'm not here to perform for you. I'm here to energize you. I want you to become part of this movement so badly. I want you to feel the energy around you. I want you to know that we are flying on a beautiful planet through a beautiful universe. We have been here so long and we've been through so much. We are not going to let these people win. There are hundreds of billions of cells in your individual body making you up. You are not small, you are giant. You have all the power in the universe. When I said those words at that meeting, I didn't do it for effect. People said it was a great act. Oh man, that's a good bit you did. That's how I feel, man. These people are trying to put us in chains. They're trying to destroy the futures of every human on this earth. They want to destroy our genetic code. They want to cut your children's penises off, okay? And I channel these energies. My hands are shaking. This is real emotion. I want you to tap into your real emotion. Are you a human being? Will you submit to these bastards? No! No, we will not submit. No, we will not give in. The God that created this universe did not make me to lose to Klaus Schwab or Bill Gates or Fauci. No, we are the human beings. We have the power. We have the control. We crawled out of the dirt. We built this country. We're not going to go shuffled off into the dustbin of history. If we are in a fight right now, trust me, the physical fight is something I sometimes want. I do. Sometimes I just want to get it over with. You really want to fucking fight? We'll fight you. There are millions of us. You are weak and pathetic. However, we are in the information warfare phase. I don't want to fight my fellow Americans. I don't want to have to hurt my brothers and sisters who have been brainwashed by psychotic morons on the TV, who believe in their hearts they're doing the right thing. They do. They're like, I'm doing it to save the planet. I'm doing it to be inclusive. No, you're a brainwashed slave, but I love you anyway. We've met so many of these people, and it's like pulling teeth, waking these people up out of their coma. But I want you to imagine you're in a battle, okay? Back in the day, face on face, head to head. You got a sword, they got a sword. You're mowing down people. Maybe you're the best guy in your tribe. You take out 10 people. You're tired. You get stabbed. You're done. So you're the best we got. We got 10 people in that battle. In the information war, when you actually stop watching, no offense, and get involved, every single person you wake up is not just a person that keeled over and died. They're now on your team. So you gain 2 victories. So if you turn 10 people, you have now made a 20 people gain. Win the battle, if the battle ever does come, God forbid, no. Hopefully we can wake up enough human beings, enough minds to simply say no to all this bullshit. Okay? And in the meantime, we're going to keep waking up everybody. We're not just going to sit and watch. I'm a normal human being, a regular Joe, walking through a grocery store with some weird lunatic trying to tell me to wear a mask. I'm going up to LA to be part of rallies where they're finally folded to the vaccine passport, where you can't leave your house unless you submit to the government and whatever they want to put in your body. Are you going to allow that? No! Fuck no! Tell me. I want to hear your voices. Are you going to take it? That's what I'm talking about. I want to hear that passion. This is not a spectator sport. The globalists are up in the skybox. They're watching the Super Bowl. Everyone in that stadium is the human race. We need to get down on the field and join the battle, and the people in the skybox will run so fast, it'll make fucking Joe Biden look like Speedy Gonzalez. We have to win. There is no sense of losing. We cannot lose. All of the things we've stood for and battled for, these are the things that they will use against us if they win. I hate to say if they win, because I can't accept that. You think standing up against some Target Pride thing is going to look good for your social credit score when these psychotic freaks put that in play? That every American who's supposed to have a freedom of speech is now being tacked on a little score unless you get put back in your box and shut your mouth and be a good little slave to the goddamn satanic system. They want to put microchips in your head. This is not some freaking preacher going, oh, the mark of the beast and Jesus is coming back and pretty soon, boy. They're going to have that mark. They're doing it. They're fucking doing it. Sorry for my language. These are serious times we're in, people. I met all the beautiful people there. I was so happy to hug you guys. And you see, I'm a happy guy. I'm not really an angry person, okay? This is the passion I feel in my soul. As much as I love the people, as much as I love you, I love the children, I love this country, that's how pissed off I get when it gets taken away, okay? Because if you don't care, oh, we just stole your country. It's like, I hated the country anyway, no big deal. Oh, we just killed your kid. Ah, he's a little brat, don't care. I love these people. I even love the enemy. You know, we've got to do this. We've got to win. You've got to just go to a city council. Make a song. These beautiful songs that people are playing. I had no idea Homeboy played. Forget his name, but those are beautiful songs. I mean, he is great. You know, the Target song, like probably just joking around, like, oh, let's play this. #1 in the world. I met the guy, Nick Natoli. He's great. I love him. Jimmy Levy, he's awesome. You know, he's going to be at our event. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, come see us at that thing. It's the American Liberty Awards. You know, I want to give gifts and presents and adoration to the people, whether they be just some guy who works at a store who wrote a song, or a guy who made a funny meme, or a guy exposing Fauci. And politicians, you know, like RFK, who gave up everything to actually tell the truth. People that make movies, Mickey Willis, you know, Ashley Babbitt's mother's here. I mean, if that doesn't make your heart fucking break, nothing will. Prayers to Ashley Babbitt. Prayers
to the J6 people who are locked, suffering in dark cells, most of them for nothing. There should be people joining Mickey outside that place demanding these people get fair trials. How can they get 15, 20 years for literally walking through? I know some people got a little out of hand, but most of these people did nothing. You got the freaking BLM burning down cities. It's a giant ordeal. They burn down a Target. It's no big deal. Some people stop buying it. It's like, oh, you're a white supremacist terrorist. Well, I got something for you. A little joke I've been running around in my head. I want everyone to become a white supremacist, okay? I want the black people, I want the Jews, I want the Christians, because we have now become the most inclusive group in the world. All you have to do is go against the public narrative, and boom, you're a white supremacist. So welcome to the fucking club, eh? You know what? I love you guys so much, and I feel like I've said what I wanted to say, and I don't do things on time limits, and I don't read scripts. So please, remember, this is your fight. Stand up. Now, stand up. Get up. Okay. Are we going to fight? Are we going to fight? Yes. And are they going to lose? Yeah. That's what victory feels like, baby. Thank you.
From the Boston Tea Party to Paul Revere's infamous night ride, from Washington crossing the Delaware to Martin Luther King's epic I Have a Dream speech. Throughout the ages, Americans have stood up against the onslaught of tyranny. Sometimes these men do not get celebrated in their own times. Other times they do. These days, those that shine the brightest light of liberty are the most shunned and scorned by the corporate system that strangles those very freedoms. Our goal is to take those warriors, whether they be using their words, their song, their art, their mind, or their passion, to light the fires of liberty in the hearts of men. In these recent years, tyranny has rained down upon this land like we have never seen before. And it has been that very rain that has been the fertile ground for those less timid souls, those who refuse to bow, those who refuse to compromise with the dictates of corporations and governments, those who refuse to be canceled, those who will stand proudly, and those who will hold the torch of liberty so it may burn brightly into the future for our children and our children's children in the years to come. Join us as we celebrate those heroes amongst us. Join us for the first American Liberty Awards, where we will celebrate our freedoms and enjoy the company of those who refuse to bow. And for that we say, we shall never surrender, and we shall never give up those rights granted to us by God.
It was a graveyard smash. They got the
the COVID vax. They got the vax. It was a graveyard smash. They got the vax.
Dr. Fauci, isn't it true that you were working with the Wuhan lab and that you were making money off of the vaccine?
Well, Senator, I was working in the Wuhan lab one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. All my patented potion began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, we got the vax. We got the COVID vax. We got the vax. It was a graveyard smash. We got the vax. It caught on in a flash. We got the vax. We made a bunch of cash from my laboratory in the Far East to the United Nations where the vampires feast. The sheepdog came out with their humble infections to get a jab from my injections. They got the vax. They got the COVID vax. They got the vax. It was a graveyard smash. They got the vax. It caught on in a flash. They got the vax. We made a bunch of cash. The zombies were having fun. The lockdown had just begun. The guests included Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, and his son. The scene was rock and roll with digging the beat. Bill Gates was backed by his bleating sheep. The Mockingbird media were about to arrive. Backed by the group, the Big Tech Five. They got the vax. They got the COVID vax. They got the vax. It was a graveyard smash. They got the vax. It caught on in a flash. They got the vax. We made a bunch of cash. Out from the WHO, there was wasted dreams. It seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the conference and said he'd been told.
But whatever happened to the common cold?
It's now the vax. It's now the COVID vax. It's now the vax. And it's a graveyard smash. It's now the vax. He caught on in a flash. It's now the vax. We made a bunch of cash.
Okay, I think I've heard enough. Dr. Fauci, you are under arrest for crimes against humanity. Guards, take him away.
Oh, no, wait. Klaus Schwab made me do it. No, wait, no. I'll be good. I promise. I'll be good.
There was a sickness in the land, not the kind of thing that caused a fever or a rash, or that caused one to cough or shake. Sure, there was plenty of that to go around, but no more than normal. No more than anyone could notice. And certainly not more than had been the norm in the several decades I had dwelt here in this land. Or any other land for that matter. No, this was not that kind of sickness at all. It was rather a sickness of the mind, a sickness of the soul, a sickness that tore at the heart of all that was good and rotted the very fiber of the nation, and indeed the world. A sickness so virile, so contagious, so baffling and so diabolical that it threatened its very existence. As I strolled through the streets of its finest cities, you could feel it permeate the air, although to the untrained eye it was invisible and odorless. The people shuffled around, deep in a blanket of denial that sheltered them from the gripping fear that the disease would take hold, that the fear would permeate, the fear that soaked and drenched, chilled to the bone even the thickest of them. The fear that it would come to them in their town in its most virulent strain, in its most deadly variant. The people had come accustomed to it by now. They covered their face with a mask. They covered their terror. No longer the kind you would find staring back at you at the grocery store and the post office. The ones that littered the streets and filled the trash cans. No, this was a different kind of mask. They wore a mask of shame or a mask of hubris. They wore a mask of solidarity. They wore a mask of what they thought would make it go away. The mask of silence. The mask of obedience. The citizens had grown quite accustomed indeed. While once they could barely look one another in the eye, maybe a passing glance or a mutter of acknowledgement in passing, now they had cultivated a special type of interaction, without conversing, without meaning, without substance. A simple, "Hello, nice day we're having. Another day in paradise." No one talked for too long, and certainly not so long that the subject would be broached. The forbidden subject. The subject gnawing at the back of everyone's mind. The subject everyone avoided. The subject of the sickness. Throughout the days that turned into weeks, and those in turn to months and years, the question burned. Where did it come from? This curse, this affliction, this sickness? And would it ever leave this once fair land? Sure, there were theories and conjecture. Oh yes, plenty of that to be sure. But no one really knew, and that's what made it so terrifying. The kind of terror that grips your spine with fingers of ice, paralyzing your soul, robbing you of the moment, leaving you with only one choice to maintain. The choice of bliss, the bliss that can only be found in the depths of ignorance and denial, the bliss that must be avoided if the answer was ever to be found, the answer that could be the only cure to the sickness.
and then they have to stop selling it. Boom. But then you also brought up, I want Barnes to jump in on this, the fact that this global warming thing is a total fraud. Paying carbon taxes does nothing, even if you believe the fraud, when hundreds of other nations are exempt. It just deindustrializes us. If the former vice president, the walking corpse, Joe Biden, says, I'll eliminate all fossil fuels. Well, that's 80% of our energy. And then China and others don't. We can't compete. We go into the dark age. Well, but AI, the way it's being programmed by these Malthusian globalists, and I'll go back to you in a moment, Matt, is setting this up for a post-human world, in their own words. So we would be madmen to continue down this road. So we need to mobilize against globalist programmed AI, like the left's mobilized about the boogeyman of carbon dioxide. Push. Matt, I'm going to start this show, I promise, unless there's a family emergency. I'm coming in this Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. live. There'll only be a few breaks. It'll be like a live podcast, and I'd like you to be one of the first guest hosts. It's going to be a show where it's going to be hosted by the callers, and we'll have, like I said, a few people that are key honchos of it. And just everything you said was really smart about we need to have a Marshall Plan, against AI, like the left's fake deal on global warming. Your idea about porting over your personal data, having laws that big tech has to delete your data because it's your data when you demand it. I mean, basic things like that are really smart. So I hope. But AI, the way it's being programmed by these Malthusian globalists, and I'll go back to you in a moment, Matt, is setting this up for a post-human world, in their own words. So we would be madmen to continue down this road. So we need to mobilize against globalist programmed AI, like the left's mobilized about the boogeyman of carbon dioxide. We get a lot of great ideas and a lot of amazing statements from our audience. But what Matt just said in California really made a light bulb go off above my head.
Anyway, so another thing is, I think that a big blind spot is everybody's, complaining about global warming and, whether it is or it doesn't happen or whatever. I mean, if you really think we're going to make it that far with AI, we need to get as wigged out as the left does about AI. Like, we need a Paris Accord saying, look, this is obviously, it's an arms race that we're all in, and everybody's going for it. And if we continue down the road, we're all going to die. So why don't we all come to some kind of agreement? Obviously, people are going to be cheating on.
Hold on, stay there. I'm years behind doing it. I promise it's coming soon. Just like Will Johnson's show launched a year late. We are going. Get his number. More calls to take too. And that Matt guy is still there. He's smart. Everything coming out of him, he's incredibly good ideas. We'll go back to him because I want him to be the host of the show with the callers right now soon. And it's coming soon. And you were bringing up, Matt, some really great points. You were saying, why can't we port over our social media by a law that they've got to save the data? If they have it, they've got to give it to us and then erase it when we want, just like porting over a phone number to a SIM card. Congress had to do that. It just makes perfect sense. It's your data, and then they have to stop selling it. Boom. But then you also brought up, I want Barnes to jump in on this, the fact that this global warming thing is a total fraud. Paying carbon taxes does nothing, even if you believe the fraud, when hundreds of other nations are exempt. It just deindustrializes us. If the former vice president, the walking corpse, Joe Biden, says, I'll eliminate all fossil fuels. Well, that's 80% of our energy. And then China and others don't. We can't compete. We go into the dark age. Well, but AI, the way it's being programmed by these Malthusian globalists, and I'll go back to you in a moment, Matt, is setting this up for a post-human world, in their own words. So we would be madmen to continue down this road. So we need to mobilize against globalist programmed AI, like the left's mobilized about the boogeyman of carbon dioxide. Push. Matt, I'm going to start this show, I promise, unless there's a family emergency. I'm coming in this Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. live. There'll only be a few breaks. It'll be like a live podcast, and I'd like you to be one of the first guest hosts. It's going to be a show where it's going to be hosted by the callers, and we'll have, like I said, a few people that are, key honchos of it. And just everything you said was really smart about we need to have a Marshall Plan, against AI, like the left's fake deal on global warming. Your idea about porting over your personal data, having laws that big tech has to delete your data because it's your data when you demand it. I mean, basic things like that are really smart. So I hope you'll be part of that with me this Saturday, 2 to 4 p.m. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. I'm getting chills. It's amazing. I have something to say to everybody who's listening. If you're listening to this broadcast, then you are already on the list. Your social credit score will already be shattered if it goes in place. So at this point in the game, you have only one option, and that is to fight and to win.
This one means a lot to me, because what I like to do is I like to go to the tyrants and the liars that want to run our lives, and I want to get right in front of their face, and I want to show them what an American looks like. And I want to show them what an American sounds like. And I got to tell you, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to get, because I'm hearing the thunder of the reinforcements in the arena arriving. And by the way, look at how this thing shimmers in the light. You see this? In case you guys didn't know, Matt made each one of these by hand. So each one is actually unique in and of itself. So Matt, you did a great job. This is honestly awesome. It's hard to make a trophy look as cool as this. You fucking did it, dude. I want to give a shout out to my hometown boys who came out here to be with me tonight, and the Gateway Pundit out of my hometown, St. Louis as well. And where's the live stream camera? Well, wherever the live stream camera is, to everybody at home, we love you. We wish you could be here. Maybe you can come next year. Rob Dude's laid down the gauntlet. I got to host next year, so now I got to outdo this guy. And I hope I see you guys next year, too. Thank you. God bless.
Forged in fire. Forged in fire. Set in stone. Inscribed by light. Ask yourself, do you have what it takes to hold aloft the light of liberty? To hold aloft the American Liberty Award. Join us August 12th. Austin, Texas, at the iconic Vulcan Gas Company.
My name is Matt Baker. I've been blowing glass for over 20 years. I recently had the honor to create a work of art for Ashley Babbitt, Aaron Babbitt. Procured some of Ashley's final remains, and I had the honor of placing them in this glass egg, which I am finishing up the final touches on right now. You can see in there, there's blue is one of her favorite colors, and the ashes, as you can see, are like the stars on the American flag in the background there, representing what she did for our country. Ashley was very fond of the bird of paradise, which I created a large sculpture of a bird of paradise, and I shrunk it down, and I sliced a tiny piece of a small image called a millie, placed it in the marble. I like to think of it like the flower was her in real life, and now the small image is representative of her soul. which is now within here, represented in these many faceted windows. I just like to thank Aaron for believing in me and allowing me to become part of history with this beautiful creation. Thank you. I'm going to try to get image of life. So it is your chance to get the limited edition one of 20. We the sequel, Slave to Liberty, Patriotic, Patriot Pipe. And if you are interested,
Pieces hit my life talking about I hit up back talking about She tried to hit me with the and then I fucking turn around and hit her. I hit the
leave me a comment.
About I hit her back talking about She tried to hit me with the and then I fucking turn around and hit her. I hit the
So it is your chance to get the limited edition one of 20. We the sequel, Slave to
Vámonos,
Liberty,
Brandon,
Patriotic,
vámonos, Brandon.
Patriot Pipe.
Ya no se
If you
puede
are interested.
caminar, poco no tiene porque le falta lo político.
I want to hear the people singing. I want this to be fun. I don't want it to be an argument. I don't want us to be fighting. I want us to be dancing. I want us to be playing music. I want us to be laughing. Keep trying to ban it, but I reposted it again. I want to hear the people singing. I want this to be fun. I don't want it to be an argument. I don't want us to be fighting. I want us to be dancing. I want us to be playing music. I want us to be laughing at these stupid clown, Satan-worshipping fools, and they can sit over there wearing their masks, and we're going to dance, and we're going to sing, and we're going to hallelujah, and we're going
for his life. Does the President of the United States fear for his life?
Yes. Yes. I mean, obviously he fears for his life. And I was told that he feared for his life before the 2 assassination attempts, one coming within a millimeter of striking his head. I mean, let's not forget about that.
But I mean, just to clarify, he doesn't fear for his life because of Ireland.
I mean, I've been told, yes, that Israel is a major source of concern for Trump. I mean, think about it. What would happen
this is
if the
our
president
ally.
if he
That's why I'm
suspended arms to
confused. Yeah.
if he suspended arms to a country that carries out assassinations all across the globe, that specializes in assassinations, that has an entire wing of its intelligence services that conducts assassinations, including with household goods like pagers, would you not be scared? So yes, Trump is scared. And what I learned from this source, who is a Trump insider, someone who talks to who talks to people in the Oval Office, people close to Trump, is that during one of Netanyahu's many visits to the U.S. this year, some figures in his retinue, Israeli agents, placed electronic devices on emergency response Secret Service vehicles. The Secret Service found them and they reported this to the White House. These would be emergency response vehicles that would respond to an incident potentially involving the president.
Hello. Hello. Dude. There's a peacock right here. Right there.
His tail feathers are all singed.
Oh man, look at that. Want some water?
Water's spraying out right yet.
Want some water? Hello, I'm out here surveying some of the damage of the fired areas down here on Altadena, and there is a beautiful peacock that is in this burnt out house, and his eyes are burnt closed and his plumage is singed, but he does look like he could totally make it with a little help. So any little bit of good that we could do, I mean, we've got this peacock over here. He was walking blind on all of this stuff, and he was so distraught. I was able to pick him up. I got him on the dirt. I took some water from that spurting pipe over there, and I put it in this bowl, and he's standing next to it. So hopefully he'll take a drink and he'll be able to make it until the animal control gets here. It's really sad. I would take him with me, but I don't think we can do that. Well, it's really starting to kick in. I'm actually starting to get a little emotional over here.
Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Leave it running. Is it recording?
Please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Help me God.